the Kings are here, and a few boats that are fit for a king in the weekend show here at the Coliseum. But the Islanders came sailing home after a very successful West Coast trip. 5 of the next 6 are here on home ice, and the Islanders look to settle in and pick up some points. Hope you're settled in for a good hockey game. Good morning and welcome to an early edition of Geico Islanders Game Night. I'm Deb Kaufman at the Coliseum. So glad you're with us. An early wake-up call for the Islanders too, but you know they should be pretty used to that. They went back and forth between a couple of time zones on this western swing, and it's only 8:30 LA time for the Kings, but they've been on the East Coast for a while. So we'll see who has more jump to their step to start. The Islanders had plenty of jump in these last 3 games that they played against some of the most talented teams in the Western Conference, but if you count the Montreal game in Montreal as part of the trip, we'll pick it up there as we take you through it. This one was right before the All-Star break. Justin Capito got a goal. The backhander to beat Jose Theodore, and the Islanders were in business 1-1. Remember, Montreal's a team they're chasing, but Michael Ryder, who is their impressive young rookie, had the go-ahead. It turns out to be the game winner. Montreal wins 2-1. On to Colorado after the break. Paul Correa kicks one in, and the Colorado Avalanche had a lead, but Rick DiPietro thinks he may have played his best game ever, and his Islanders scored for him. Mariusz Tarkovsky ties it, and then in overtime, DiPietro was the story. Gargantuan saves, none better than that one against Steve Konowalchuk. The Islanders get out of there with a point. On to Dallas, they thought they were going to get 2. Ole Kavasha, very understated, but he did score to give the Islanders a lead. Dallas fought back, and then it looked like the Islanders were going to get out of here with 2 points. Trent Hunter, with about a minute and a half to play, gives the Isles a 4-3 advantage, but then a scramble in front of the net. The final few ticks, 6 seconds left, no whistle. Bill Guerin scores as he pokes it out from under Gar Snow, a 4-4 tie. Then Steve Sterling said the Phoenix game would mean the difference between a great road trip and a poor road trip. So Yanni Minima had one of the biggest goals of the week. The go-ahead to make it 3-2. Here's some insurance. Mariusz Tarkovsky beats Brian Boucher. Trent Hunter also had a pair, including an empty netter. His buddy Rick DiPietro had a chance with the long shot, but it turns out to be a 5-2 win against Boucher, who obviously has the ability to shut people out. So it's 1-1-2, 4 points. The Islanders have played better on the road. Combine that with great success at home, and they did well playing against some of the best teams out west.
I think it went pretty well. You know, obviously we would have liked to get a couple points versus Montreal, but I think we bounced back pretty well against 2 of the, arguably the best teams in the league, and took 2 points there, and then had a big win in Phoenix. So I think overall it was a pretty successful road trip for us.
Well, we showed a lot of character coming back. I don't think there wasn't one game we had a really good start to. Colorado was probably the best of the 3, but we relied on great goaltending to keep us in the games early, and from there we were able to really mount a pretty strong attack in the second 2 periods to get back into hockey games and eventually win the 3rd one. And so that's a good thing. We've had some good play from a lot of guys, and hopefully that can continue.
Islanders haven't lost a game here at the Coliseum since January 10th, so they are back in town and in good playoff position as long as they keep playing as well as they've been playing. They've got 4 games this week. We talked to a bunch of the players on their way in today about keeping up the momentum at home, and the first game after a trip's always hard.
These are points that we need, obviously. We got, I think, 3 of next 4 at home, and, we can use those points. Obviously, we are in the 8th position, and we want to move up in the playoff race, and we'll see what happens.
I think we don't want to get lazy because, it's most teams are known for coming home after a long road trip and getting lazy and just expecting to go out there and win, and we don't want to do that. We want to come out, and I think we realize how big these 2 points are today and how big this week is. We have a lot of teams, kind of breathing up our necks here for that 8th spot, and we'd like to move up.
I think you got to keep moving forward like we have been doing. Make sure we're prepared for 60 minutes tonight, and it's a good hockey club over there, and it's not going to happen just because you're coming home. You got to work the same way you did on the road.
Big step for Mark Parrish yesterday. Participated in his first full practice since that ankle injury, and some reports that he might even play today, but that's not going to happen. It's still not wrong to be optimistic, though. The word we got this morning is shortly. Expect Mark Parrish to be back in the lineup shortly, and what a scene this was this morning. From about 8:45 to 9:30, both Mark Parrish and Alexei Yashin getting a good workout on the ice, a spirited workout for both of them, and both of them expected back soon. probably perished before Yashin, but there was Alexei who's coming along nicely as well. And boy, that could be dangerous for some of the Islanders' opponents, as well as they've been playing without these two. They're going to get them back soon. So now it's 19 games, but probably not much longer for Mark Parrish, and Yash has missed the last 24. But Mike Milbury said to Howie Rose in Phoenix that when you look at the trade deadline, he's going to get 2 players back before the deadline who could be 30-goal scorers. Maybe he won't even have to make a move. So everyone's looking forward to getting them back. But in their absence, the goal scoring has been picked up by 2 Islanders in particular. Trent Hunter is where we start. And after a whirlwind week in Minnesota, when he had his first All-Star experience, he came back after the break and picked up where he left off before the break. So Trent Hunter, the one big thing about him, he thought maybe his buddy Rick DiPietro would get a goal. No, Hunter gets the empty netter just to preserve the win in Phoenix. And then Chow, 3 goals in 3 games for Mariusz Czerkowski. Before they left, he was part of that big comeback win against Vancouver, but then 4 points in 3 games on the Western Swing, as you see games against Colorado, Dallas, and then in Phoenix. And Chow also picked up on the trip his 200th career goal, which is a special milestone for him. So one big fact that's hard to ignore, the Islanders usually win when Trent Hunter scores. They're 13-1-3. How impressive is that? If he pots one, and Chow is heating up again. Now to this afternoon's opponent, the LA Kings, and that old poem, all the King's horses and all the King's men. Well, Andy Murray has had to put them together again and again and again. This is a team that's been decimated by injuries, and somehow they're still in the top 8. So a lot of credit to Andy Murray and the young players, plus the veterans like Roman Cechmanek, who have played so well in spite of all the injuries. Now, they got blasted 8-3 by Buffalo on Friday night, but came back yesterday afternoon against the Devils. Took a 2-0 lead, and then at 2-2 in overtime, the rookie defenseman Paul Martin won it for New Jersey, but still LA gets out of there with a point. They've played 22 overtime games this year, but they have lost an astounding 460 man games to injury. They're on pace to miss over 650. Here's potential Coach of the Year, Andy Murray.
Well, you're in a no-choice situation when you play in this league. You either win or you lose, and you feel better when you win after hockey games. And they don't put an asterisk beside your point total and say that this was their point total based on the fact they had 500 man games lost. You got to go out and win the hockey games, and really the way that we look at it, we've got no choice.
Your players have bought into that, though.
Well, we've got an extremely hard-working team. We like to think that we're tough to play against. In a lot of ways, similar to what the Islanders are doing here, playing with a lot of passion and energy, and certainly competing on a nightly basis.
And another similarity to the Islanders, you've got a lot of young players who are not only playing but contributing.
Well, what happens when players follow the lineup with injuries, it creates opportunities for other people. And a lot of the players in our lineup are probably getting their best opportunity ever to establish themselves as National Hockey League players. And, that's what opportunity is all about. Go out and seize it and take advantage of the situation.
That's the story from Andy Murray. When we come back, his opposing coach, Steve Sterling, talks about Rick DiPietro. What a trip DiPietro had. Young Howie Rose with Steve Sterling after this.
Time to put down the breakfast and concentrate on the coach as we go behind the bench here on this morning edition of Geico Islanders Game Night. Top of the morning to you, Coach.
Thanks, same to you.
Any concerns when you have a game that starts so early? Did you have to call some guys at home last night and do a 9 p.m. bed check or something?
No, I didn't, but we talked about it yesterday at great lengths after practice. First and foremost, coming home after, a week or so, or for that matter, we've been away for 2 weeks, not necessarily all on the road. And just talking about getting up early and getting breakfast and, sort of revving it up because it is a different routine for them.
So what does that do in terms of your preparation? Do you not have as much time as you'd like to show tape or go over certain things that, might prove relevant later?
No, we were able to continue. We just did a little bit earlier than normal. We were able to do our power play and our penalty kill, which we always do. We try to do it in the morning, but just as often on the road, we'll do it just before game time. So it didn't set us back too much.
2 ties and a win on the 3-game road trip that came after the All-Star break. What was your overall impression of how things went?
Well, for us on the road, we played much better. We had struggled early on, as everyone knows, and as of late, we've played better on the road. Not quite the 60 minutes that we need to, as everyone saw in the first period of certainly 2 of the 3 games. But it was better. And we picked it up and played the 40 minutes in the last 2 games the way we needed to and came back with 4 points. It would have been nicer to have 5, but we'll take the 4 and we'll move on.
Now, the last 2 games, you had slow starts. Was there a common thread to those 2 that you want to try and avoid today?
Well, for some reason, I don't know whether we give the other team too much respect or we sit back and sort of play a chess game to wait and see what they're going to do instead of us taking the initiative and just going at people. Some of that's on the road, and people are a little nervous to do that. But we talked about that yesterday after practice, that we're playing pretty well, and we're doing a good job with our forecheck. Our third guy's not taking a lot of chances. Therefore, we aren't giving up a ton, if too many, odd man rushes. And when you're doing that right, then that gives you the opportunity to be a little more aggressive right off the bat.
Now, this LA team you're going to see today is a tremendous story because they've been banged up. They've got guys out of the lineup every night, and yet they've hung in as far as the playoff chase is concerned. How do you prepare for a team that you never know who's going to be in their lineup?
Well, again, we talk about that at great lengths. They've figured out that they've just said, we're going to be hurt all year, because they've been hurt all year, and some of their top players. They know that for them to be successful and them to compete night in and night out, everyone on that roster, no matter who suits up, has got to work and play within the system. And they found a way to do it.
All right, so that's the Islanders and the Los Angeles Kings getting together this afternoon here at the Nassau Coliseum. Our thanks to Islanders head coach Steve Sterling. And if Rick DiPietro is ever going to score a goal in the NHL, he'd better do it fast. Rules changes might make this rare footage. We'll talk about it when we go inside the game.
We are back, and it's time now to go inside the game, and we're going to go inside the mind of our three amigos. We got upstairs Howie Rose and Joe Micheletti. Howie just celebrating his 50th birthday over the weekend, and downstairs is Stan Fischler, who tells us he's celebrating his 50th birthday next week. So
that's the third time, though.
I'm going to give him the same gift, too.
We're going to talk about the proposed league rule changes. And Stan, the one that's getting the most attention is going to get the most attention from us, and that's about the goalies not being able to play the puck. What do you think?
Well, that's from the movie Dumb and Dumber. I can't believe that the NHL is even talking about this. First of all, we have something in this country called no taxation without representation. They have a committee, and they don't have a single goalie on the committee to speak about it. Every significant rule change that's been made by the NHL has been designed to hose teams. First, it was the Canadians in the 50s when the guy had to stay in a penalty box for a full 2 minutes. Canadians had a great power play.
How much time do we have
They killed
here?
that rule. So this is a very, very bad thing the NHL is doing. It's designed to hose the Islanders and the Devils, who have the best puck-handling goalies in the league.
Well, the general manager, Howie, who had almost as much to lose as Lou Lamoriello, would have been Mike Milbury, and I thought it was great he told you this might be the only way I can stop Ricky from playing the puck.
Perhaps. I think there's another statement that needs to be made relative to the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. All men are created equal, and that should include the goaltenders, meaning that if the goaltender wants to go behind the net and play the puck, that's fine. But make him fair game. Allow him to get clobbered back there if that's what happens.
I agree with that. I agree wholeheartedly. The goaltender stopping the puck and setting it up for defenseman or defenseman going to the side. Stan, it's time for you to move on with this stuff. I mean, come on. Tradition evolved after you were born, Stan. So
Joe, do me a favor.
What?
Clean out your ears. You weren't listening. I actually agreed with you.
All right.
They should be fair game. There's no doubt about it. That's the way it was when Jacques Plante started this thing, and everybody ran Plante. So there's a brawl. No big deal. We enjoy brawls. I agree with you, Joe.
Stan,
I cleaned out my ears so much, Stan, I can't even hear you now.
He said he agrees with you. Have you ever heard that before?
Let me clean these out one more time, Stan. I don't think I heard that right.
Stan, they're doing so many things to try to change the game and increase offense. I mean, Milbury said he wanted to make the net bigger. There should be some integrity with the rules of the game, and the game isn't in that bad a shape. You think they need to be doing all these drastic things?
No, you got a couple of nutcases around the league who feel that
Who are they? Who are they, Stan?
Well, I'm not counting you guys because I have deep respect for you when you clean your ears out. But when you don't, then I got problems. You know, they want to make the game better. You want to make it exciting. Have a shootout. Have a shootout if the game is tied. That's
but why do you have to, Stan, why wait 2.5 hours to get to a shootout? You've got to provide something. Let's face it, this game is a game of great athletes, and the way the game has changed because of the great coaching in the game has slowed this game down to, in a lot of cases, to a crawl, and all they're trying to do is put some excitement back in the game again. And all they're doing is going back to most of these changes, and they're just going back to the way it was in the past.
Joe, you're yelling at me.
I know, I'm sorry.
Listen to me,
That's because his ears are clean now. He hears so well.
Listen, Joe, you widen the rink 5 feet on each side.
I'd love to see it.
5 feet on each side.
Love to see
and
it.
if you want to make it even more exciting, you trim the rosters. You trim the rosters so you only have 3 lines and 5 defensemen, and then you'll get a lot of the goons out of the game. You have some real exciting.
Well, that's how
Hey, Joe.
that's how it used to be. And as long as, Stan, you like talking about how things were, my proposal would be, let's go back to the old days when a player used to have to serve the entire 2 minutes of a minor penalty. Not only because what it would do to the power play, potentially, but also it's got the potential to open the game up, because now a minor infraction becomes something potentially devastating to a team, and perhaps if you're looking to speed the game up and get away from some of the obstruction and clutching and grabbing that's become so commonplace, if all of a sudden you have to serve the entire 2 minutes of a penalty, you might think differently.
See, to me, this is not about scoring. To me, this is about showing what great athletes have played this game.
Flow,
and
right?
That's the flow of the game. We saw a game the other night, Stan, I'm sure you watched it, in Colorado, which was a 1-1 tie with the Islanders in Colorado. It was a marvelous game. It was a terrific game. Scoring chances, skating, great goaltending, and finished in a 1-1 game. It's not about scoring. It's about excitement for 2.5 hours.
All you got to do is make room for these great athletes to do their
I agree.
thing. And how about, if they don't want to widen the rink, how about 4-on-4 hockey for 60 minutes?
Stan, you know what, Stan? And I think that once this is tried, these new changes, and if it doesn't work, I think they're just going to keep going. They're going to try the next thing and the next thing and the next thing to get what they want.
You don't think, Joe, that we should play the game without defensemen at all?
No. Let's not get
Now you're getting personal. I'll tell you what, though, I really like the idea of putting the goal line back to where it was. Cycling doesn't attract people. Nobody sells tickets based on a great cycle. Where do you score goals from? In front of the net. Now there's going to be more room in front of the net.
All right,
Take that, Stan.
My 3
Way to
amigos,
go, Howie.
some of whom are 50, some of whom are not. A quick break in Kurt Menefee at the MSG Sports Desk when we come back. But Howie, Joe, and Stan will be with us all afternoon. Bitter cold outside, but the President's Day weekend boat show has the Coliseum filled inside, and the Islanders, who traveled not by boat but by plane and came home with the 3-game unbeaten streak against 3 of the best teams out west. 2 ties and a win. It's a day to remember Lincoln and Washington, who didn't want to be king. What better way to celebrate than with an afternoon game against the Kings? Hi there, welcome to our coverage of New York Islanders hockey. So glad you're with us. Things are going so well for the Islanders. You can only assume that they'll get better when they get Mark Parrish and Alexei Yashin back. There was a report that Mark could be ready to go as early as today. That is not going to happen. But what a great scene this morning. For almost an hour, Mark Parrish and Yash on the ice for a spirited workout. And it's not wrong to be optimistic. The word we got this morning was shortly that Mark Parrish would be back shortly. It will take Alexei Yashin a little bit longer since a devastating forearm surgery that he had after that injury, but he is coming along nicely as well. So before the trading deadline gets here, the Islanders could add a couple of 30-goal scorers without having to give away a prospect or anybody on the team. So they both skated this morning. Perry has missed 19 games, but don't count on too many more, and they expect to get Yash back soon as well. Well, we've got our guys back after that 3-game trip out west. One of them a little older than when he left. Howie turning 50 over the weekend. And what do you, now that you're home, 51 already?
We're working on it. And then again, we're all just a little bit older than we were a couple of days ago, aren't we?
But we don't feel any different, do we?
Not a bit. And the Islanders, if anything, seem to feel even better about themselves, because with the absences of Yashin and Parrish, they've been able to redistribute their scoring, and boy, are they getting some big-time contributions, especially in the last few games from Trent Hunter and Marius Cherkovsky.
Yeah, you know, you see this team go through a game or two where it's a couple of the same guys, and then somebody else steps up and does the job. But for Trent Hunter, it's been all season long, hasn't it? There's a little bit of everything. Here's a goal. He's showing his great hands against the Dallas Stars to get them going. And then against Phoenix, they were trailing 2-1. He's also got that heavy shot. So you see the great hands in front, and then the heavy shot. And Rick DiPietro, he was just looking to clear it right. Well, Hunter says, Thanks, Rick. Good pass. I'll put it in his second of the game, and 422 goals on the year. And Mariusz Czerkowski got off to a great start, went into a lull, and now is hot. Scored that power play goal against Colorado. And to me, what sticks out with Czerkowski are his second efforts. He has scored goals now in 3 consecutive games, but he's paying a price to score goals. He's going to the net. He's taking the man. He's doing more than just score the goal.
4 goals in the last 5 games from Mariusz Czerkowski. And even though Rick DiPietro does not have a goal yet, and he's trying, his main responsibility is one that he's handling beautifully.
Well, has he ever? I mean, he's playing his best hockey of his career, I think, at least in the last 3 weeks or so. And the thing about DiPietro, seems like every time there's a good scoring chance, he seems to be waiting for the puck to hit him. His anticipation is outstanding. We know about his athleticism, and he shows that game in and game out, but his control seems to be better than it ever has. And this last road trip was a prime example. When they needed a big save, when the team got off to a slow start, DiPietro, or Snow for that matter, was there to come up with a save.
Maybe a little early to make a proclamation, but DiPietro is on the verge of becoming the bona fide #1 goaltender on this hockey club. And for the Islanders today, it's going to be an interesting test. The LA Kings played and lost in overtime yesterday in New Jersey against the Devils, but they're a great story. I mean, they've lost most of their great players to injury this year. They have over 400 man games lost, and yet right now they're in the playoffs.
Almost 500. It'll be over 500 in a couple of days, and this is a team that just keeps finding a way to get points. And one of the reasons why, one of their young players, this is a second-year player, Alexander Frolov, is a good young player. He scored 19 goals on the season, and he's someone that they have looked to because of the injuries. And then there's Luc Robitaille. Luc Robitaille, all of a sudden an important player in this team. Earlier in the season, he was a healthy scratch before they had all the injuries. Now he's an important player. Of the 14 goals, 9 of those have come on the power play.
Ziggy Palffy out. Jason Allison out. Adam Deadmarsh out. You think the Kings wish they had a little extra depth? They used to have Jason Blake. Now he's an Islander. And today, he'll lead his team against his former teammates, the LA Kings, at the Coliseum.
As Jack Bauer, I've learned a lot of spy lingo. In the next 24 seconds, I'll teach you another language. Ready? The one-timer, shooting the puck without stopping it. Between the pipes is where the goalie plays. Between his legs is the 5-hole. Above the 5-hole, a cup. Not that one. This is a twig. That is a biscuit. Top shelf is a goal scored just underneath the crossbar. So now when you hear someone say, I snapped my twig on a one-timer, tried to go top shelf, but the biscuit found the 5-hole, you'll get it.
Dev Coffin and Stan Fischler as we await the opening face-off between the Kings and the Islanders, and it's an afternoon version of Pillow Talk as we get ready to drop the puck. What is the pillow symbolize, Stan?
Dev, this is not a pillow. This is a cushion.
Oh.
And the symbol of the game is the Islanders building a cushion, a playoff cushion. That's what they're aiming to do.
I was actually a little nervous to go to you on that, but you got us through it.
Don't be nervous.
Roman Cechmanek played yesterday afternoon against the Devils, so he will not play in this game. As we check out the Eastern Conference standings, the Islanders are still 5 points clear of Buffalo, and they're in the 8th spot as they go to Rick DiPietro today. We take a look at our Dodge goaltending matchup brought to you by Dodge. Grab life by the horns, Dodge. So it's Cristobal Hewitt. It sounds like a champagne, a favorable blend of champagne. He will get the start this afternoon. Back to Ricky, looking for his 15th win as we go upstairs. Maybe Howie and Joe sitting on a comfortable couch somewhere.
You know what? I thought that Stan was simply showing us what the goalie pads are going to look like next year. Well, that's representative size. Rick DiPietro.
That's good.
Like those? They're going to be 2 inches shorter on each leg next year.
That's a good thing.
So this 12 noon start is underway with Janssen and Ninema on defense for the Islanders, who go with Blake, Winehandle, and Skechard up front. That's former Islander Derek Armstrong hustling back but being beaten to the puck. And now the Kings come away with it. We'll set them up. This is Trent Klatt, number 26, working it ahead on the left wing, and then it's dumped around the boards by Tim Gleason, 42, a rookie defenseman. And the Kings have all kinds of first-year players and injury replacements in their lineup tonight. We'll show you a little bit about what they've gone through, and it is nothing short of outstanding that Andy Murray has been able to keep this team in playoff contention. Joe Corvo, number 27 on defense, turns it over. And Oleg Kavasha for the Islanders takes over now for Ninema. By the way, Radek Martinek is out for the Islanders today. Sven Butenschon takes his place on defense as we've played a minute here in the opening period. This may take a while, so read slowly.
Okay, here we go. LA Kings, Adam Deadmarsh, only 57 games. That's every game. Same with Jason Allison. Aaron Miller, who's a terrific defenseman, has been out. Ziggy Palffy, their leading scorer, gone for the year. Marty Straka's got another 3 weeks. He had actually both knees operated on. And Wisnowski, who's an outstanding defenseman and probably should have been their representative in the All-Star game, is out with the same injury that Aaron Miller has, which is strange. A nerve problem in his neck.
Tell you what's particularly impressive about the way things look for the LA Kings right now is that pass is cut off by Frolov. In looking at their lineup today, and they've got a lot of players who didn't figure to be on this team, but those who are have all come from the organization. It's not like Dave Taylor's gone out and made trades. He made the Straka deal as Ronning misses upstairs. And ironically, Sturbeck, the defenseman he sent to Pittsburgh, is hurt now too. Joseph Stumpel's shot is wide, but the injuries that they've had have resulted in call-ups, not deals, and that's tribute to the organization and its depth.
You know what they've done in the summer? They have a 2-week program where they get together and they hire other coaches because coaches in the organization aren't allowed to go on the ice. And for 2 weeks, they go on the ice every day for an hour and 15 minutes. And they hire coaches from outside the organization. They teach them their systems, and then they go on the ice and they teach everybody in the organization, college kids who have to pay their own way because of eligibility problems or restrictions. They're American Hockey League players, draft picks, and they invite all the pros that are with the organization, and they get a terrific turnout. And that's all they do for 2 weeks is go over systems. They do the same thing in training camp for the first 4 days so that when these kids get called up where they have an opportunity, they're familiar with the systems, they're familiar with the players, and they're able to step in and not change anything.
It's smart. Holland's shot turned aside. Of course, Greg Cronin has the Islanders playing pretty much the same system at Bridgeport that the Islanders are playing up here at the National Hockey League level for the same reason. Marius Tchaikovsky chasing in the LA zone. But it's shot off the wall and out by another former Islander, Jason Holland, number 53. Now Kavasha trying to get through 3 Kings, unable to do it. And the captain of the Los Angeles Kings, Mattias Norstrom, number 14, holds things up behind the Los Angeles goal. Played 2:40 here in the opening period. And now Norstrom headmans for LaPerriere. In LaPerriere, back in his own end, watched by Kavasha. And now Norstrom on the rush. Knocked down by Kavasha as he twists it around the boards. Sean Avery hit by Butenschon. Avery, more penalty minutes than any other player in the National Hockey League. He has 214.
They're trying to get him to settle down. He's not a big guy, but he plays with a lot of grit and a lot of determination. And they're trying to get him just to settle down and stay out of the penalty box. The special teams, which could be the deciding factor in this game, have been awful for the LA Kings, and you would expect that with all their key injuries.
Good play by Kenny Janssen. Roman Hamrlik trying to relax. The puck does so. We talked about Sean Avery. You figure a guy who's leading the NHL in penalty minutes, he's a big fella. But as you mentioned, Avery's 5'9", 196.
He is just in the face of everybody.
Žižka, number 5, goes back to play it. That's Tomas Žižka, who scored his first National Hockey League goal against New Jersey yesterday. A game the Kings lost in overtime. And now Winehandle dumps into the corner. Scatchard, Winehandle, and Blake for the Islanders. Jeff Norton, number 63. Swings it around to the near side. And out comes Pavel Rosa, number 55. Rosa, the 37th player. I say Jeff Norton, it's a...
Yeah, but that's his
well,
brother.
there's a reason for it,
Right.
yeah. Familial relationship there. Former Islander Jeff Norton's brother Brad playing with the Kings. Ninema tries to hold it, and he does. A good save there by Hewitt. Cristobal Hewitt, pronounced H-U-E-T, but you throw off that first H, silent H. Tripp breaks a stick. And now back to the blue line. That drive missed the net. Hard shot taken by Corvo, and Gleason comes back to play it. Now Tripp just lofts one into the corner. And Eric Cairns fires it off the boards. It was missed by Corvo. So they say play will continue. allowing the goaltender Hewitt to play the puck. Now running gets one to the net, and Hewitt stops that. 5 minutes gone here in the first period. Corvo trying to slip away from running. Out of the right side, and Cairns taken down. Chipped ahead for Pekka. It was knocked away from him by the man with the puck now, Joe Corvo.
Steve Sterling told his team this morning, Howie, let's make sure we get out and get a good start, because recent games, and you talked to Steve about this in the pregame show, they have not had good starts to the game. Their goaltending has had to hold them in it.
Now Sean Bates looking, lofting it at the net off the glove of Hewitt. And Derek Armstrong, another former Islander, hustles ahead. Armstrong gets to the red line. DiPietro plays it the other way, right back to Armstrong. Centering feed went beyond the reach of Klatt. Now behind the net, it's Armstrong turning on Butenschon. Derek Armstrong, a backhand to the DiPietro stop. DiPietro scrambling to get his stick back as Klatt was knocked down. And now Tchaikovsky for Hunter on right wing. The dump into the corner, chased by Kavasha, looks to center, that's broken up. And Klatt back for Los Angeles, chips it out of the zone. Now Butenschon along the Hammerlet. And Roman fires it hard around. Hunter's after it. Avery got to it first. And now Butenschon for Hammerlet at the Islander line. Each team with 2 shots. Brent Hunter offside, and we get our first whistle in quite a while. Already 6.5 gone in the opening period. This afternoon's New York Islanders high-definition broadcast is presented by Panasonic, Ideas for Life. Kavasha with Tchaikovsky and Hunter, with O'Coin and Janssen back, Belanger, Avery, LePerriere, forward line for the Los Angeles Kings. As LePerriere gets to the corner and centers for Avery, but DiPietro was aggressive. Zizka and Gleason are the defense pair for Los Angeles. Kavasha driving, a backhander, and Hewitt took the angle and the puck away. Quick feed by LePerriere gets the Kings to center. Avery stood up by Cairns as they continue to shove. Cairns much bigger, lost his stick. Now the Kings get it again. LePerriere dumped it to the Islander line. Cairns was waiting for it. Now Eric Cairns comes to center. And sent it gently into the Los Angeles zone and head off on a change.
I think Cairns looks at the roster before games and looks at the players with the most penalty minutes, and right away early in the game lets them know that I'm here just in case.
That's my guy.
You want to increase the numbers, you got to go through me.
Cairns has been doing that. He had a couple of fights in the Dallas game. He had another one in the Phoenix game.
He doesn't, you know, when teams try and change the flow of the game, he wants to make sure if things are going well for his team that it's not changed.
Running to Bates to Pekka, and he hit the crossbar. The red light went on briefly, but play continues. And hustling up the left wing now is Frolov, leaving it for Rose in the corner, and that one may well get the attention of the video goal judge.
It looked to me like it hit the defenseman Holland before getting to the net. And a strange sound.
Winehandle brings it in. His shot steered away by Hewitt. And once play stops, and it does now because of a hand pass, the referee on the ice has the option of asking to go upstairs, or the video goal judge upstairs can decide that he wants to take a closer look at it.
It seemed to have a strange sound to it. I thought it went in initially, but we'll get a better chance here. 53, I believe it hits him. Well, and then it hit the crossbar straight on. Here it is, deflects, boy, and then bounces. See what happened? Hit the defenseman in the right leg, bounced down, caught a piece of the goaltender Hewitt, and then up in the crossbar and out.
Well, they are looking at it. So it's being viewed from several different angles upstairs, but I think that last overhead view you saw pretty well tells the story.
Yeah. Well, good play, good setup actually by Bates. I thought Bates might take the shot because he was in such excellent position to score, but the quick pass to Pekka. And actually they got a little unlucky on the play. So the Islanders though have had a good start. Even though shots are 3-3. Here's a look at our Panasonic digital replay, the overhead, and there you see it off the crossbar and out.
So play continues. Norton bumped off the puck. Eric Manlow trying to skip through some traffic. Has to chase it into the corner at the near side. Pitched up the boards by Norton. Papineau kept it in. Papineau, Manlow, and Asham, the Islanders' fourth line. Aaron Asham only had 4 shifts in the game on Friday night in Phoenix. He was on ice for the first Coyotes goal and saw very little ice time the rest of the way. But last year, these teams played just once. It was in Los Angeles. The Islanders won 3-2, and Asham scored both goals. Now he has a pass denied, gets it back, shoots, glove save, Hewitt. It'll hold on.
That's a good start. Manlow with a good setup from the side of the net, and Asham had the shot. These are the same lines that the Islanders finished the last game. Asham tried to make one play, and then he's set up by Manlow after that. That's a good save by Hewitt. Asham does a good job. Tries to break in. That's a good defensive play. And the puck doesn't get there, but Asham and Manlow stay with it for the shot.
Long drive from the boards by Blake. Hewitt handled that. And now he's got to hold on as that puck came back to him after some shoving behind the net. And now Jason Blake involved with Derek Armstrong.
I think Winehandle got away with using his feet to take down the Kings player behind the net. And now a conversation. Blake and Trent Klatt, who was signed as a free agent. Watch behind the net what happens. A little turnover there, and the player go down, and Winehandle got away with it.
10:50 remaining in the first period as Blake throws one to the net. Cleared all the way down by Eric Belanger, but DiPietro gets to play it. Didn't clear it past Robitaille, though. Luke Robitaille, 645 National Hockey League goals. Tomorrow is his birthday. He will turn 38 years of age. And now the puck floats down right near the Los Angeles line. Blake was tied up, but Scatchard follows. Nice feed. Winehandle shoots. It deflects wide and over the glass and out of play.
Well, the Islanders are getting chances. That was a good defensive play by Tim Gleason on the play.
Our Tri-State Consumer quote tonight, delivered by Islanders goaltender Rick DiPietro, and he's talking about Trent Hunter's qualifications for the Calder Trophy.
Well, he certainly more than qualifies, I think.
Well, he's also caught Michael Ryder in points. He leads in goals and now is tied in points.
Well, I'd like to know if there's any other coach in the National Hockey League that will take a rookie and put him on a struggling line to get that line going again. It's something that Steve Sterling has done with Hunter most of the season.
Andrew Raycroft continues to have a solid rookie season in goal. You don't always see the goaltenders mentioned because look at the guys who have all the points, but Raycroft's had a solid year in Boston.
It was quiet early, and then there's a few people that I think started mentioning it. And a lot of people are talking about Raycroft now.
Holland got it to the corner. And that shot by Belanger missed by a wide margin, sent back towards the net by Holland. Now Belanger works the corner with Kavasha. Avery being roughed up by Cairns. Kavasha's there too. LaPerriere fires it into the slot. But coming away with it is Tchaikovsky. Marius just flutters it all the way down. This one will cost the Islanders an icing as they were looking to change. 9:10 remaining, scoreless first period. Man on the right hopes to be back within the next couple of weeks. The man on the left is getting a crash course in the Islanders system, but Alexei Yashin this morning continuing to work on his rehabilitation while on the ice. And Butch Goring was saying that he's getting a little bit more familiar now with the Islanders system so that he knows what it is that the coaches want to hear from him when he's imparting some advice from the press box. He's on a hookup with Jeff Jackson, one of the two Islander assistant coaches who's on the bench with Steve Sterling. That's who he'll talk to. And sometimes Jeff will initiate the conversation too and say, listen, look for so-and-so or look for something relative to our power play or penalty kill. And Butch makes notes. So it's still a crash course for Butch. As the puck is sent in by Gleason behind the Islander goal. And DiPietro bats it out of play.
And that's not a penalty because the puck was flipped up in the air, and all DiPietro was doing was taking a swing at it with his stick. Had he had control of the puck and then tried to clear it, here it is again. That one went straight up into the netting. No penalty on that, even though the Kings wanted one.
Notice the first place he looked. Not to us.
referee just happened to be in the same line of sight as our camera. And he continues to plead his case. Clean win for the Kings on the draw. Ziska's shot. And that's tipped over the net, grabbed by O'Coin. Coyne and Cairns, the Islander defense. Lake chips one too far for Sketcher.
Ziska's played just a few games in the National Hockey League, scored his first NHL goal yesterday. They have 4 defensemen with very, very little NHL experience playing on a regular basis.
Yeah, he played 10 games at Ziska with the Kings last year with 3 assists. Pernish slides it right to DiPietro. This is Pernish, number 12. Missed penalty shots in 2 straight games very early in the season.
I think the first 2 games of the year.
Second and third games that the Kings played,
okay,
yeah. And he had penalty shots in each of them. One against Pittsburgh's Marc-Andre Fleury, and then against Chicago's Jocelyn Thibault. Los Angeles won both of those games. That's quite the introduction to the NHL.
Yeah, get those kinds of chances for a young kid.
Robitaille slips it in front. Boulanger couldn't find the handle, nor could DiPietro find the puck. But finally, it's grabbed back by Holland.
That was a good play by Robitaille. He was almost to the other side of the net, behind the net, and threw it back to the short side. DiPietro at that point had already anticipated Robitaille coming around the other side with the puck.
Overskated off a deflection by Tchaikovsky, but Janssen got back in a hurry to take care of Avery. 6:46 remaining in the opening period. Now it's Norstrom with the puck.
Pardon me, Howie. One of the things that Andy Murray, the LA coach, wanted out of his team today was fewer shots against. He said the last 2 games they've given up more shots than they normally do. One of the reasons was because of too many penalties, and they've stayed out of the box here in the first period and played pretty well in limiting the Islanders to 7 shots.
Armstrong into the corner. Pekka turning him around. And Robitaille shoved to the ice by Adrian O'Coin. Corvo, the defenseman, in rather deep, hits the side of the net. DiPietro wants the puck, but Ronning gets it under control. And Cliff Ronning fires it ahead. Good feed for Bates. Bates moving, curling at the boards now for Ronning. He was well covered by Armstrong, who got back. Meanwhile, Hammerlick took a spill behind the play, so he's got to hustle back. A forward Bates covering for him on defense. That was Bates going to Armstrong. He set it in, and that allows for a line change. 5:44 to go in the opening period. Shots are 7-6 New York. Norstrom neatly away from Winehandle. Frolov up the left wing. Stumple met by Janssen. And here comes Blake with Winehandle. Mason Blake tried to get it to Sketcher. Holland broke that up. Frolov in on left wing. Stumble to the net, but Ninnema's got him. Rosa follows for Los Angeles. Got it back to the corner. Now Holland from the blue line has it hit his own man Frolov. Blake tried to start a rush but couldn't connect with a teammate. Winehandle failed to get it deep. So Rosa hassles Ninnema at the Islander line, but the Islanders recover nicely. And Sketcherd works it the rest of the way down. So we're under 5 minutes remaining in this scoreless first period.
LA's worked hard, haven't they? And again, most of these players, they've got 10 regulars out of the lineup. And a lot of these players have played in the American Hockey League.
As has Manlow, who carries in for the Islanders. But it's tripped for Los Angeles, shooting it back to center.
Now they just come up and they play, and they've got a lot of energy, play hard every game, gives your team a chance.
Sent in by Pernish. Cairns reverses, being hit along the way by Chartrand. That's Brad Chartrand, number 29, out of Cornell University. Manlow angled to the boards. Papineau follows, turns and shoots. Looked like it hit Žižka on the way through. Now Hunter flattened by Jason Holland. And DiPietro will come out and play it. He moved it away from his defenseman Butenschon. Did it carry cleanly over? I think it did. DiPietro will get a penalty.
Our Panasonic digital replay will show you this time DiPietro would control the puck and shooting it up high over the glass. That's a penalty.
So a Kings power play begins with Corvo feeding Armstrong. Work back along towards the slot. Klatt out of the blue line. Corvo under pressure from Pekka turned it over. Blake racing ahead. Blake to Pekka. He fires and a save made by Hewitt. Good hard shot by Michael Pekka. Corvo to Klatt. Klatt, Armstrong, Robitaille with Žižka and Corvo, the power play unit for Los Angeles.
You know, Corvo had the puck at the blue line and with control and wanted to take the shot and stopped at the last minute because I don't think he wanted it blocked. And when he stopped, he lost control. The Islanders' 2 penalty killers jumped on it. Pekka had a pretty good chance. Andy Murray was a little upset with Corvo yesterday in that overtime when he lifted his leg to let that last shot go underneath his leg, and it turned out to be inside the post. Game-winning goal in overtime.
Pietro just made a nice save on Frolov. And Žižka coming back to play it. Islander penalty killing has been terrific. Coming into this game, they'd allowed just 4 power play goals against in the last 56 times shorthanded. Covers the last 13 games. And they're halfway through this one.
I think it's been the difference, Howie, in winning some of those games where it's come down to critical stretches of a game where they needed to kill off a penalty. They've been able to get it done.
And sometimes early, like the game in Phoenix.
That 5-on-3 in Phoenix.
Here's Blake with 2 Kings back. Blake tried to curl on Gleason, just went down. Blake turning back at Gleason as Pavel Rosa brings it in. Rosa's pass went beyond the reach of Stumple. So Pekka lofts one all the way down. Stolen by Blake. He moves up, shoots, and a save by Hewitt. Boy, did Blake pounce on that.
The puck was kind of bouncing as it came off and hit the ice. It took kind of a crazy bounce. That, along with the little tug that Jason Blake put on Holland, dislodged the puck.
Final 10 of the LA power play. Ninema trying to just hold up Robitaille, allowing Kabasha to come back and get the puck. And out of the box now, Tchaikovsky. Islanders kill another one. Marius almost had a piece of that puck coming out. Now Kabasha brings it in. He fires, and he hit the post. 1 crossbar and 1 post in the period for the Islanders. And we remain scoreless. Contact behind the play with Tchaikovsky dumped. Marius couldn't get out. The late offside wiped as Avery fires it ahead. Alexei, hard drive that missed the net. Caroms all the way down. The Islanders getting a pair of bad breaks in this period.
It's been a well-played period, I think, Howie, by both teams. Seen a few scoring chances. Both teams playing hard, playing well.
And LaPerriere swings it behind the net. Avery was hit by O'Coin. And now Scatchard fires it cleanly to Asham. Aaron Asham pulls up. Now to Winehandle. He moves up back for Asham. He chips at it, but he was tugged along the way. And there'll be a penalty coming up, a hooking penalty. As we reach the final minute of the first period, the Islanders will get their first power play.
Yeah, what a play here by Winehandle to try and get the puck over to Asham, who was then hooked on the play by Corvo. And the whole play started with Pekka. Here's the shorthanded chance. Pekka starting that, and then you can see as the puck dropped, kind of a strange bounce on Holland. And then the post shot, hard shot off the crossbar, actually, by Kabasha.
So the Islanders to the power play for the first time. They come in tied for 10th in the league with Florida. Los Angeles right down by the bottom on the penalty kill, tied with Edmonton for 28th and 29th. Islanders go with Papineau, Ronning, Hunter, Janssen, and O'Coin. The carry over to the second, unless the Islanders score in the final half minute here. Stumple killing some time. This leaves it for Holland, who sends it the rest of the way down. Kings have given up at least 1 power play goal, 6 straight games. Janssen brings it in, 17 to go in the period. Norstrom with 2 Islanders on him, lost it to Ronning. Nice feed to the blue line. O'Coin to Janssen with 9. Now to O'Coin. Running with 5, down low. Blake put it right through the goal mouth, or at least Papineau did, as time runs out in this first period. So Justin Papineau, from a sharp angle, unable to see it deflect past Hewitt, who played well and had help from the crossbar.
Yeah, a couple of times from the crossbar to Hewitt, but Steve Sterling's team I think came out and played a good first period. There was a good pace to this first period. Andy Murray's team has done that all year long with all the injuries, where they just come out and they make you work to beat them every game. And so the Islanders needed a good start here at home after being on the road for a long time, and did that.
What would happen if the best Islanders team in history took on the best Islanders of today? We'll kill them.
Those guys, are they even still alive?
You're invited to the first ever Islanders Family Feud. Watch your favorite Islander legends take on today's hotshots in a unique, out-of-control battle of the brains.
What brains? Those guys never even wore helmets.
This charity event includes a special player reception, a full-course dinner, and then the main event.
I'm going to really hate to embarrass these old guys, but trust me, I will.
These young guys don't have a clue. I hope this restaurant has wheelchair access.
Seating is limited. Reserve your tickets today by calling 516-501-6700. All proceeds benefit the Islanders Children's Foundation.
Hey, Blakey, how does this feel?
This is the BMW Intermission Report presented by BMW. Stop dreaming, start driving, the ultimate driving machine. Mattias Norstrom, the captain of the Kings, is our guest at the intermission. How was your All-Star weekend?
Great experience, my second time around, and just feel really fortunate to be able to go to a weekend like that.
For a defensive defenseman, though, not exactly your kind of game.
Not at all, and during that Saturday, the skills competition, I did a lot of watching and not a lot of skills for me out there to do. So, but all around, I really enjoyed the weekend. Great setup. A lot of credit goes to the Minnesota organization. They did a fantastic job.
All right, well, plenty of skill for you on the blue line. You're playing with some kids that you probably didn't expect to be playing with this year because of all the injuries, but you guys have really held it together.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of credit goes to these young kids, that if we have everybody healthy, they probably would not be here playing right now, but they're proving to our team and to themselves that they're NHL caliber players.
And I saw you even took a hard shot yesterday while you were on the penalty kill, and you probably thought, I have to get back out there. We can't lose anymore, guys.
No, I mean, we had a really tough year when it comes to injuries. A lot of guys going down, and unfortunately, the injuries that it seems like we're going to lose them for the rest of the year. So, yeah, right now we need all the healthy bodies we can get.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Mattias Norstrom, more than healthy and playing well again for the Kings. A quick break, and we'll continue with more on the BMW Intermission Report right after this. New York Islanders hockey is brought to you in part by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. A scoreless game after one, an afternoon affair on this President's Day between the Kings and the Islanders, and I have a prop this time. The big number one. Nice. This is how many points I'm going to allow you to make during this segment. One. So take as much time as you need to make 1 point about the first period.
Well, you get an unsportsmanlike penalty for that kind of talk, but what I like about the Islanders is that they come off the road trip, and it's a strange time to play. And all things considered, they remind me of that musical group In Sync. You know that group?
Right, I've heard of them.
You know that kind
I'm
of
surprised you have.
What do you mean? I'm a musician.
You're hip. Okay.
What kind of talk is that? You get another penalty for that. One more, you get thrown out of the game. They seem to be meshing well. I like DiPietro. He's playing well. He's maturing. He seems to be maturing every month as a goalie, both on and off the ice. When you talk to him now, he's really talking like a veteran, and it's showing in his play. So the totality is not bad.
All right, maturing every month. He's like maturing every day, to be honest with you.
That's me.
So let's talk about first the penalty that he took, and what's your thought about this?
It's a stupid penalty.
Okay, I had a feeling that would be your thought. I was going to let you say it.
Look, why give a penalty to a goalie who is that big fat stick, and if a defenseman or a forward shoots it over the glass, they don't get a penalty?
Well, just look on the bright side. It's never going to happen again once they're not allowed to play the puck behind the goal line.
Yeah, but that's discrimination against goaltenders, and it's really not fair. It's silly, and of course, the Islanders escaped, and that's the big thing.
All right, so the Islanders are going to have a minute's worth of power play time when they come back in the second period. I love Cliff Ronning on the power play. Kovac has been great on the power play. The Ronning pickup may be one of the best free agent signings of the year in the NHL. He's been great.
Remember Mariusz Czajkowski? How about that one? And I remember Mike Milbury telling me that he wasn't sure whether Marius would last through Christmas. He said, that's when I will decide whether or not this guy can stick with the team. And fabulous, fabulous to be able to fill in with Yashin out and Parrish out. And this is one of the better stories, and you cannot give enough credit to Coach Steve Sterling. I mean, you talk about low-key, bring high octane. This guy has done it.
So he was able to keep the team together in December when they weren't playing well, and he's been a great coach for them when they have been playing well. So Wednesday at 7 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Are you here, Stan?
Oh, I don't know. You got to invite me.
Wednesday the 18th. The Penguins at 7, 21st against the Buffalo Sabres. That's a huge game as they're 5 points right now behind the Islanders, but there are tickets still available for both at the Coliseum box office, the Islander team store in the Broadway Mall in Hicksville, Ticketmaster.com, or charged by phone. You're invited.
Come.
Scoreless at the end of one as we continue our BMW intermission report. Couple of close calls for the Islanders. Let's look at first period highlights. They are brought to you by BMW.
Well, it was an entertaining first period. There weren't any goals, but both teams played hard. We saw some outstanding goaltending. Hewitt for the LA Kings had to make some quality saves. The Islanders were able to get that one, which was shorthanded by Michael Pekka. And then down the other end, Rick DiPietro had to be alert as well, because this LA team is a team that works. They go to the net hard, and you have to be alert defensively, so both goaltenders were busy. And also we saw a couple of crossbars. Michael Pekka hit one after being set up. There it is again. He was set up on that play by Sean Bates. And then a little later on, Ola Kavasha. Just after the Islanders had killed off the penalty, Kavasha with that one. And then with a late surge by the Islanders as well, as Tchaikovsky had a chance.
Islanders outshot the Kings 11-7, but at the end of 20 minutes on Long Island, no score. The intermission report has been brought to you by BMW. Second period coming up. New York Islanders hockey is brought to you in part by Hyundai. Only Hyundai has America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. Hyundai, win. Which is what the Islanders are trying to do against the LA Kings this afternoon, but the first period produced no goals, so a light scoring summary brought to you by Foxwoods, apart from the assorted agate.
Face-offs, yeah, 9-4, and the LA did a good job in the face-off area. And the Islanders killed off another power play.
All right, let's go back to our Nissan trivia question. Actually, we're not going back to this particular one. First time we're asking it, but then again, you probably, if you're an Islander fan of some standing, remember the deal. Deadline, March 1980. Man on the left came the catalyst. And fortified a team up front that would go on to win its first of 4 straight Stanley Cups. A couple of longtime Islanders were part of that deal. You think about it, and we'll have the answer for you a little bit later on. So Rick DiPietro called on to make 7 stops in the first period. Getting ready to go back to work.
They're waiting for the LA contingent to make their way to the LA bench. That's why there's the delay. That man in the middle there, Pete Demers, 32 years as the head trainer right there with the LA Kings. He has seen a little bit of everything, and he is I don't want to say coach, he has worked over 2,500 consecutive games. Never missed one.
I don't know that the TV voice of the Kings, Bob Miller, has missed an assignment. Kings are not televising today's game, but I think Bob's got one of those great streaks going.
He sure does.
We say hi to Bob and Jim Fox. Bob Miller recently went into the broadcaster's wing of the Hockey Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. Kavasha around to Ninema and then Hammerlick. Remember, the Islanders on a power play for the first minute here of the second period, and they have Kavasha feeding Tchaikovsky. Ninema's at the hash marks, the defenseman. Tchaikovsky out to Hammerlick. He shoots. It's tipped. It rolls along the goal line and flutters wide. Kavasha put it in front. That pinball right to Hammerlick. 8 seconds left to the power play. Hammerlick faked the shot, now takes it, and the big carom to Winehandle. Kavasha fires one that deflects through the slot all the way to Tchaikovsky. And Hewitt holds on as the penalty is expired. So the Islanders get some pressure but unable to break this scoreless tie on the power play in the first minute and 9 seconds of this period.
Now, Tchaikovsky had a couple of shots at this one. The puck kind of deflects a couple of times. Tchaikovsky had one, then a second one, and it just goes off the glove of Hewitt. There it is again. Bouncing, rolling puck. Hewitt does a nice job to keep the puck out of the net.
Now from the draw, Kings unable to clear. And Sean Bates fires one wide from a sharp angle. Derek Armstrong, number 7 for Los Angeles. Centers and a pileup going to the net as Pekka and Chartrand got there together. Pietro just got out of the way, and everybody appears to be all right.
Teams are playing hard, aren't they? LA is the last game of the road trip, so they get to go home. So they want to go home on a positive note. And the Islanders' first game at home after that long road trip, and an important homestand here. After this game, 6 of their next 7 are against teams that are under 500 out of the playoff.
Orvo's shot stopped by DiPietro. Rebound score. Trent Klatt jumps on the rebound and beats DiPietro to give the Kings a 1-0 lead.
Right off the face-off, the LA Kings control it and are able to get a shot. Michael Pekka loses the draw. And then the shot up high, and DiPietro can't control it because it goes off. It's a rising shot that goes off his shoulder by Corvo. And it's just kind of a rising shot, so he can't control the rebound, and Trent Klatt is able to get there and flick the wrist shot over the shoulder, and LA with a 1-0 lead.
So the 15th goal of the year for Trent Klatt. First goal of the game. Klatt signed as a free agent over the summer. And also played with Minnesota, Dallas, Philadelphia, Vancouver. So he's been around, and he's part of what the Kings are trying to do here. Patchwork, keep it together. DiPietro stops that shot from Tripp.
Well, plus he's one of those players that's a good leader, and that's why they signed him. Can do a number of things for you. Can check, can play the power play, can score a few goals, and at the same time you add all that up, and they needed someone else that was a good leader, and that's why they signed him.
Now Chartrand back in the Los Angeles zone. Hustles to the red line before heading to the bench on a change. Roman Hamrlik starts out of his own end. Tchaikovsky looks for help on right wing. Nobody home, and Norstrom takes over for the King. Alexei almost overskated that puck. Now it's brought out by Holland. Banks one for LaPerriere. Point and Hunter had LaPerriere tied up. Right after the Islanders failed to connect on a power play, Trent Klatt from Corvo and Armstrong at 1:30 of the second period gives LA a 1-0 lead. Kavasha plays it off the boards. Norstrom first to get it, being chased by Hunter. See, it's Norstrom for Avery. Jason Holland trying to get through the middle. Gets into the Islanders zone. Takes a shot that deflects. Avery was going to the net. And now Eric Cairns grabs it back for New York, but his pass deflects away. Holland to LaPerriere, and then Belanger has it blocked. And Holland gathers it back in for Los Angeles.
Remember, Los Angeles played yesterday afternoon a hard-fought game with the Devils in which they lost 3-2 in overtime, but they've had a good start to this game. The question is, will they wear out as the game moves on?
3:45 gone in the second period. Fox Sportsnet's telecast of this afternoon's Islanders game is available right now in high definition only on cable TV. With widescreen images up to 10 times sharper than regular TV and Dolby Digital sound. Fox Sportsnet in high def, available only on cable. Johnson and Ninema, the Islander defense. Johnson drove it in hard. There's going to be a penalty to the Kings, though.
I believe this will be an interference call as the LA Kings just held up, trying to hold everybody up as the Islanders dump the puck in, and so the Islanders will have their second power play of the game. Trent Klatt is getting whistled for that. He doesn't like the call, but he's up here. And as the puck is dumped in, there it is again, right there, held up on that side. And so the Islanders were able to move the puck around and had some chances on their last power play.
They go with Kavasha, Winehandle, and Cherkovsky. Ninema and Hammerlich are the point men for New York. And a drive by Kavasha missed the net. Now Winehandle checked by Norstrom. Puck worked free, though, by Joseph Stumple. And Stumple gets as far as the red line. Kavasha tied him up, but Piernesh follows. Asa Piernesh throws one on goal that DiPietro will hold on.
Now again, the special teams for LA have struggled this season because of their key injuries. And their penalty killing has had a problem, 28th in the league. And in particular on defense, where they really miss Aaron Miller, who can make the outlet pass, he can clear the zone. And they don't know when he's coming back. He came back, skated for a while, then had a setback, and now they're not sure.
Might have been the story of the Kings season.
Yeah, they're not getting any of these players back for a minimum of 2 weeks, and maybe 3 weeks at the earliest.
Kenny Janssen at the blue line, 1:16 to the power play. Now to Papineau, turning on Corvo. Hunter, chased by Norstrom, ran right into Trent Hunter and knocked him down, and that is not easy. Well, Norstrom's a big boy, too. And now the centering feed from Running, deflected by the goaltender Hewitt, and cleared the rest of the way down by Belanger.
Well, Norstrom is just about as good as any defensive defenseman in the game today. And he knows how to react quickly, and he's strong.
He is to the Kings what Kenny Janssen is to the Islanders, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more physical than Kenny, but and it's nice to see a player like that with just 14 points on the season get to play in the NHL All-Star game.
Winehandle feeds nicely to Hammerlich. He shoots, and that's knocked away by Hewitt. 27 seconds left. The Islander power play. That'll be offside of the Islanders' touch. But the delayed offside will allow the Kings to waste a little time before sending it down the ice. Now the Islanders down to maybe one quick rush here with 12 seconds to go. Cherkovsky leads the way. Spins it all the way to the other side. Kavasha takes off after it. Checked in the corner by Armstrong, who shoots it down the ice, and that takes care of the power play as Klatt steps out of the box.
Oh, this will be interesting to see if the Islanders can't generate more scoring chances, how quickly Steve Sterling might decide to change things up.
Back the other way for the Kings. Shot stopped by DiPietro. It's wheeled around to the near side. Black got a good shot there. Now Armstrong with one that DiPietro flicks aside. Sean Bates all the way to the LA line. Gleason in trouble. Asham held off by Gleason, who made a nice recovery. Lost the puck, but he stayed with his man.
Yeah, real good job.
Gleason for Robitaille. Something poetic about a guy named Gleason playing on the same team and, in fact, the same defense pair with a guy named Norton. It's too good to be true. Pekka puts it in front, and it's deflected away.
Oh, what do you mean, Howie?
Oh, it's just priceless. So Gleason.
What is it you're trying to say?
Oh, nothing. Just a little TV history for you. Chartrand in his own zone. Plays it off the wall and all the way down. And DiPietro will hand off to Cairns. 7:20 gone here in the second period. Kings have broken the scoreless tie.
Gleason was the player that was acquired from Ottawa for Brian Smolinski at the trade deadline last year.
How sweet it is. Jiska up the left side for Chartrand. Scatchard jumped in. Scatchard centers, but Blake was being ridden off. Now Hammerlich slaps it down the boards. Blake's after it again. Jiska works him over. Blake right back up, has help from Scatchard. Corvo all over Dave Scatchard. Hammerlich, the Islander defenseman, in deep. His defense position being covered now by Scatchard. DiPietro moves it crisply to Winehandle with the Kings changing. And that dump in, fielded by Jason Holland of the Kings. 11:50 to go in the second. Rosa and Norton. Or at least Holland. But it felt good to say it. And Norstrom keeps it alive at the line before it's touched offside by Rosa with 11:37 to go in the second period.
Our Panasonic digital replay will show you the stick work of the goaltender Hewitt. Good job there as Michael Pekka tries to get it in front to Aaron Asham, and Hewitt able to clear the zone, clear the crease at least.
Asham, the hero of the Islanders' win in Los Angeles last year. Denied an opportunity here in this one with the Islanders trailing 1-0. The Islanders have Scatchard, Blake, and Winehandle out. It's Melange, Avery, and LaPerriere, who goes right over to the bench. And the Kings throw Rosa out over the board. And now Sean Avery tried to slip it past Butch. Nothing doing there. Winehandle bounces it back in. Hewitt gets rid of it. Winehandle in on the forecheck. He's held off by Norstrom, allowing Holland to play the puck, and almost clipped Winehandle right in the face with it. Icing waved off. DiPietro came way out. You can do that next year all he wants, as long as he's above the goal line. Wonder how much the forward defense would want it, but it's another story. It's communication. I guess they're getting used to it.
It was interesting that Mike Milbury, with a goaltender like this, voted for that proposed new rule. But you know what? He's really wanted a change in the game, the way the game is played, and you know, the excitement levels and whatnot. That's what that was all about. In fact, I think it was rather unselfish of him to vote for that. Looking at the long-term effect of the game and the way the game should be played and what's good for the fans, and you know, voted for something that is going to take away from, you know, one of the strengths of his goaltender.
He voted for everything. He said he just kept raising his hand yes on all of these propositions because, you know, I don't know that you'd label Mike necessarily as an anti-traditionalist. However, he said that traditional values such as the size of the net just didn't enter his mind when he decided which way he wanted to vote on these various topics.
I asked him when that was going on, what was Lou Lamoriello doing, and he says, shaking his head at me. Just shaking his head.
Yeah, Lou can't be too happy with the, I guess some would call it, anti-Brodeur rule. Corvo's shot knocked into the corner, then DiPietro grabs that shot that was fired out from the other side.
Meanwhile, Mattias Norstrom just left and went to the LA locker room.
So the Kings without, for the time being, their best defenseman, as if they have any patience for any other injuries.
You know, Howie, they had another regular defenseman that left last night and went back to LA, Jaroslav Modric, which surprised me because his wife had given birth yesterday to a son. And even though the team was flying back today after the game, he decided to leave last night instead of staying here, which surprised me. I thought he would have stayed with the team.
Here's Frolov trying to break through, but the pass did not connect. And so with 9:47 in the second period, we'll step out.
See the Islanders on Fox Sports Net in high def, powered by Panasonic. Available right now on IO Digital Cable Service with widescreen images up to 10 times sharper and Dolby Digital sound. Fox Sports Net in HD. Get it now on IO Digital Cable Service from Cablevision.
Now this is the last shift for Mattias Norstrom, 14 in the white. Watch what happens. He goes down along with Scatchard. Now the question is, did he get hurt or did he maybe just lose an edge? If he lost an edge, he should be back in the next couple of minutes.
What would you look for in a play like that? A groin or a hamstring?
Groin or muscle or something in the leg, but he was able to get up right away, which makes me think it was more equipment related than anything.
We'll keep an eye out for Mattias Norstrom. Puck set all the way down. Yanni Ninnima back to touch up. With 9:22 to go in the second period. Tomorrow night at 7:30 on MSG Network, Stephon Marbury and the Knicks, who continue to wheel and deal, will tip off in the Garden against the Detroit Pistons. Live coverage gets underway at 7 with Canon Business Solutions Knicks Game Night. Available on HD TV, only on cable. Keith Van Horn,
wow,
hardly knew ye.
He is wheeling and dealing, isn't he? Isaiah Thomas.
New look team.
He said he had a chance to get 2 starters for 1, which is why he made the deal.
Sean Avery for the Kings being angled to the boards by O'Coin. LA has outshot the Islanders 9-3 here in the second. And the Kings with a 1-0 lead, 9 minutes to go in the period. Hutter for Kavasha to the net, tied up by Holland. And the Kings get it back. LaPerriere is it on right wing, but Hutter jumped in. And now Tchaikovsky. The Islanders seem to be finding less and less room, Joe, whenever they have the puck.
It seems like as soon as LA scored the goal, they just kind of tightened things up a notch. They're still forechecking and they're still being aggressive, but they're providing less room for the Islanders to maneuver. I bet you Stan would love to see a little 4-on-4 hockey right now.
How are your ears doing, by the way? Nice.
Oh, they're better. Yeah, I cleaned them out. Good. Yeah. Stan told me I needed to clean them out.
O'Coin fires and a save by Hewitt. That all started with a turnover off the bad pass by Norton. Now DiPietro plays it away from the oncoming Chartrand. Norton tied up along the wall. Pekka brings it back in. Michael Pekka tries to center. Corvo said no. And then it's slapped out of the zone by Chartrand.
Now, it looked like Michael Pekka had some time and some room. He looked up, and all 5 players for Los Angeles were back in front of the net. There was no place to go except trying to get a shot through. And there's Matty Norstrom. I'm sure it was just probably an edge. You'll see Pekka down in this area here. Now watch when he picks it. Now he looks up and look at all these players. All 5. I mean, they've just circled the slot area and taken away any opportunity for the Islanders to get a scoring chance.
Cliff Ronning trying to throw it back into his own zone, has it picked off by Stumple. Hits the trailer Corvo. Corvo's backhander is held by DiPietro.
Now Cliff Ronning was moved up to the left wing with the Michael Pekka line last game, and Steve Sterling said before the game today, he said, I got to get Ronning more ice time. He said by doing that, now that he's in better shape and feeling better physically, that I'm going to give him a little bit more ice time, and with the hopes of that is that he can keep him in the game a little bit more by getting a few more minutes, and he feels that then when he's out there on the power play, he'll even be more effective.
Roman Hamrlik rolls it all the way down. Hewitt will come out and play it with Asham in hard on Gleason. Now Stumple worked it up the middle, and on comes Frolov. Blake jumped in to intercept that. Asham brings it in, trying to get away from Gleason, who stayed with him. And it's held by Cristobal Hewitt.
Now there have been 37 players that have played for the LA Kings this year. And as I mentioned earlier, they've got 4 defensemen that have virtually no experience in the National Hockey League. And the Islanders have played hard. They haven't played a soft game by any means, and yet Andy Murray has this team playing hard, playing with confidence. Islanders have just 15 shots on goal. And LA is better here in the second period than they were in the first.
Kiska and Norton. Brad Norton, number 63, played his college hockey at the University of Massachusetts. His defense partner was a fellow by the name of Jim McKeever, affectionately known as Old Muckenmeyer. Mr. Norton.
So there.
You buying that?
Sure. Okay. By the way, nice of the LA Kings to give contract extensions to that coaching staff, which has done such an outstanding job. Andy Murray, a new 3-year deal.
Johnson to Blake. He put it right through the goal mouth.
$900,000 a year.
That includes the assistant coaches too: Mark Hardy, Ray Bennett, John Van Buxmeer,
and their goaltending coach as well. Avery and Scatcherd having a few words.
Just say it. Just shut your yap, son. I'll talk to you later.
Andy Nowicki is the goaltending coach for LA. That also got extended.
Certainly hasn't inhibited Avery from flapping the gums.
No. Hey, it's, you know what? It's good to have, you got to have players like that have an edge to their game. Or every game, you know, if something's not happening, you've got some energy guys that can go out there and get things going for your team.
And then there are the goal scorers like Robitaille circling the net with Hamrlik all over him. Now Norstrom at the blue line. He is Norstrom, wristed in behind. Robitaille check. Following though and turning all over in the corner is Armstrong before being hit by Janssen. And a penalty coming up to the Islanders. Going to be a slash. Scatcherd and Norstrom now having word. But it's Scatcherd who will go off.
And I think the Islanders are getting a little bit frustrated with the way that LA is playing. They're playing hard, which the Islanders knew they were going to do, but we're about halfway through the game now, and the Islanders haven't been able to score a goal yet. And there you see the stick by Scatchard on Norstrom. And so the LA Kings go on the power play with a 1-0 lead.
Well, the Kings have closed ranks since their goal. This is a pretty big penalty kill for the Islanders, with LA leading 1-0. It's fired hard around by Corvo. Pietro put it right into the chest of Stumple, though. So the Kings go to work on this power play. Rosa behind the net, tried to reverse it. It hit Hammerlick right in the face. Hammerlick trying to stay in despite being stunned by that shot, or at least that reversal of the puck. And now Hammerlick making a motion to get to the bench if he can.
He wants to change quickly, and they get it.
Stumple checked by Bates. And Kavasha goes across to Ninema. Islanders killing the time here nicely. Minute 5 to go to the power play. Kavasha taking every second he can before sending it all the way down.
That's a good job, and the Islanders got control of the puck just as the LA Kings wanted to make a change with their power play unit. So that extra time allowed the Islanders to kill more time on the penalty.
Eric Armstrong got away from Janssen. Backing up for the Kings is Corvo. 40 seconds left to the power play. Armstrong double team. And then Ninema gives the shoulder to Klatt. Bates gets the puck, and then Ninema pitches it all the way down. It's played by Yanni Ninema. Hewitt moved it quickly. And this one missed by everybody. And the end result, icing against the Kings with 16 seconds left on the penalty to Sketcher.
Again, it's been good penalty killing by the Islanders. They keep this a 1-0 lead. Meanwhile, Hammerlick early on this LA power play. Hammerlick, puck goes off the boards and then catches Hammerlick up high. And he was able to stay in there until the puck cleared the zone, and then he made a change. And is still on the bench being attended to by Rich Campbell.
Oh, from the draw, Norstrom with 12 seconds left. Looking to start an LA rush on this power play. Jason Holland played it right to DiPietro's strength. But Norstrom holds the pass in. Penalty is over. 4 minutes to go in the period. Butenschon knocked down Pernej. And Sven Butenschon, headmans, couldn't be held cleanly by Blake. He continues to hound Mattias Norstrom. Now he goes after Holland. And Pernej works it the other way, cut off by Butenschon. Blake chased by Norstrom. And O'Coin takes over in the Islanders zone. 3:35 remaining in the second period. Los Angeles outshot the Islanders 17-15. Chartrand saw that coming. Chartrand pulls up, and then shot deflected by the stick of Butenschon. Asham with a good hit on Pernej in the corner. Another good hit. That was by O'Coin on Ian LaPerriere. And Aaron Asham moves on right wing, sandwiched between a pair of Kings, Norton and Avery. And Avery unable to reach that headman pass, hustling to keep it onside. And they call a two-line offside pass. Was Belanger with 3 minutes to go in the second period. Wednesday night on Fox Sports Net, Pittsburgh Penguins will be here at the Coliseum. Geico Islanders game night at 6:30, and then the Islanders and Penguins a little after 7 o'clock, available in HD TV, only on cable. Ronning tried to get to the net. Bates gives him support. Bates, a pretty good shove in the corner there from Gleason. Gleason continues to work over Bates. Now Pekka, hit from behind by Pernej. Ronning got it back behind the net. Pekka couldn't find the handle. Slapped back along the boards, and Frolov chipped it along for Stumple. But Ronning hustled back. Tried to find Pekka right at the Los Angeles line, and he just sweeps it back in. 2:23 remaining second period. Bates overskated what might have been a pretty good chance. And Ninema over to the near side. Frolov got it loose from him. Frolov hit the trailer Corvo, but that's broken up. And now Pekka finds his way to the red line in need of a change, and he just sends it in, and the Islanders can make their change with 2 minutes to go here in the second period.
Islanders need a spark here, don't they? They're not getting many scoring chances. They're working hard, but LA's just not giving up much.
And Hunter fires from long range. I mentioned that since their first goal, they seem to have really tightened things up even more. Jason Holland back. Janssen stepped up and missed. Gavasha went at Frolov. LaPerriere working on Ninema. Worked there by Yanni Ninema. Norstrom follows it. Pietro might have gotten a piece of that with his left pad. But hard shot by Mattias Norstrom. Now it's worked loose. And DiPietro with a save on Belanger. Gavasha rides his man down. That's in the corner, where coming back is Avery to get a shot on DiPietro. Gavasha trying to prevent another one. Good play by Avery.
Very good play. He got away from Gavasha. He was knocked down, got up, got away from Gavasha in front, and had a chance.
Belanger just got away with a slash on Cherkovsky, or so it would appear. Cherkovsky answers by bumping Belanger and talking up ice as Belanger accepts the pass on left wing. Belanger to Avery, and a save by DiPietro. Roman Hammerlick now spins it the other way, and that flutters out of the zone with 36 to go in the period. Hammerlick trying to relax the puck. And finally a whistle. So we're down to 29.3 seconds remaining in the period. We'll revisit our Nissan trivia question. And perhaps the most famous trade in Islander history. Butch Goring came, and two popular New York Islanders left, Billy Harris and Dave Lewis. That was at the trade deadline, March 10th, 1980. Butch Goring taking some of the pressure off of Ryan Trottier, and the Islanders had a second line center the teams had to pay attention to, and everything fell into place from there. The Islanders were on their way to the first of 4 straight Stanley Cups. Final 7 seconds of this second period. Islanders unable to get anything organized here as the Kings clear, and through 2 periods, it is 1-0 Los Angeles.
Well, Los Angeles scored the 1 goal off a face-off win in the Islander zone, and that goal by Trent Klatt. And then after that, they really tightened things up. They continued to forecheck when the chance was there, but anytime the Islanders had the puck and were going the other way, LA made sure they had everyone back defensively, and they gave a lot of protection to their goaltender, Hewitt.
It's the last game of a 7-game road trip. Of course, they have the All-Star break in between, but the Kings have not been home since the 29th of January, and now they've got to discipline themselves for 20 more minutes before thinking about a happy homecoming. So, 2 periods in the books. Los Angeles 1, and the New York Islanders nothing here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Deb Kaufman standing by with the BMW report in a moment.
This is the BMW Intermission Report presented by BMW. Stop dreaming, start driving, the ultimate driving machine. We've got Eric Cairns at the second intermission, and I guess LA is doing what they do, which is going to lockdown mode. Maybe a spark from you guys to change the momentum?
Yeah, I'd say so. That wasn't a good period for us. We know it. We were skating in the first, but we got to get our butts in gear for the third.
It's always a trap game. I know it's a cliche, but that first game back home after a road trip usually seems to get teams.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason it has. No excuses. Oh, we knew that. We all talked about it in the room, and we're just not doing it right now, and we just need to get out there and wake up.
All right, well, you've had a wake-up call, I guess, the last couple times you've been at home. The NHL is following you around. They're doing a big story, and they've been talking to you a lot. Tell us some of the things that you've talked to them about and some of the shots that they've been looking for from you.
Well, basically, they've just been looking for goals and a lot of points, putting points on the board and stuff like that. But, no, they're just doing a thing on physical players, and for some reason they picked me, and you know, I'm happy to be doing it because it's a big thrill for me because I don't usually get too much spotlight. So, I mean, I'll take what I can get, and I'm happy.
All right, thanks, Eric. It's been good publicity so far.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so any kind of publicity, they say, is good publicity. A quick break, and we'll continue with more on the BMW Intermission Report right after this. Eric Cairns and the Islanders down just a goal after 40 minutes. Back after this.
Growing up, Fred and Ernie were very close. They had to be. They were born joined at the finger. But then everything changed when Ernie became one of those bandwagon fans.
Check out my new Red Wings jersey.
You know you're gonna lose? Oh, I'll see you later. Yeah! You like that one? Yeah, what about that now, huh?
So while Fred has no choice but to put up with teams he doesn't care about, thankfully, you do.
It's the last game of a 7-game road trip for the Kings. The first game home for the Islanders, and it's LA on the strength of a Klatt goal, the veteran with his 15th to lead it 1-0. So yes, the Islanders need a spark, and Stan, they got one almost a year to the day ago, the one and only meeting last year between the Islanders and the Kings. It's our Mohegan Sun moment. This New York Islanders hockey moment is brought to you by Mohegan Sun, and it was in February of last year in LA. The Islanders traveled out there. February 15th, they celebrated Valentine's Day with a win against the Kings, and Aaron Asham had 2 goals. He was a spark in that game. They need a spark from someone in this game.
Well, certainly a couple of catalysts will do the trick. Now, here's the prop for the second period.
It is a, just in case you were having, it's a styrofoam cup.
Fill it up with hot black coffee. Give it to every one of the Islanders, because right now they are flat. They got to get that flatness out. But they got a period, and you know, the way they come back, they've come back a lot this year. I'm very hopeful for them. The other thing is, Kings got to be tired going into the third period. They played yesterday. They're pretty well decimated, but I like this goalie.
Yeah, I was going to say young, but he's 28 years old, so he's been around a little bit. Our bottle of champagne, Cristobal Hewitt. As soon as the Kings scored that first goal, I said to you, that's going to wake the Islanders up. They're going to get a couple here. And then they got a power play chance but didn't score on it. Well, they haven't woken up yet, I guess.
Well, certainly you can't be thinking we're going to get Yashin back and we're going to get Parrish back. And I don't like the idea, you know, let George do it. Everybody's got to contribute in this third period. But it's only a 1-goal deficit, and it's not like this team can't score. They just have to start pressing, concentrating, forechecking, get some shots.
Yeah, yesterday the Kings had a 2-0 lead on the Devils, and New Jersey came all the way back to score 3 unanswered. Speaking of the playoffs, is that what we were talking about? The Islanders have just announced a new partial plan, the playoff push plan. Pick 8 of the last 12 games on the home schedule, including a Ranger game, 3 promotional nights. You get the great seats and guaranteed playoff tickets with a deposit for next season. 1-800-882-ISLES, extension 1 for more information. Howie and Joe with highlights when we come back. Thanks, Stan. Get your other cup back.
Dear Bobby, how much ice time did you log last game? Sincerely, Mark. Dear Mark, which game?
Against the Islanders, as Cherkowski finishes his check. Capino whirling in the corner. Got it towards the net. Harris to have a shoot. Thinks he scored. The Los Angeles Kings have the only goal of this game through 2 periods. Let's take a look at second period highlights. They're brought to you by BMW.
Well, the only goal was scored on a face-off, but the Islanders had an early chance. This was on a power play, and Hewitt did a good job to keep the puck out of the net. That was the first minute of the second period. Then, a little later on, the Kings win the face-off and get the rebound as DiPietro couldn't handle the long rising shot, and Trent Klatt put it in for the 1-0 lead. Islanders came back down. They worked, tried to get more scoring chances, and Hewitt did a good job with the stick there as Aaron Asham was in front of the net. And then Rick DiPietro had to make a late save on Avery, who was able to get away from Kavash in the corner. The Islanders have some work to do as they trail by a goal here in the third.
The Intermission Report has been brought to you by BMW. New York Islanders hockey is brought to you in part by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. By Fleet, fittingly enough, helping you make smarter decisions with your money so you can move forward with confidence. And by Hummer. Check out the H2 at Hummer.com. Hummer like nothing else. Water's a little choppy for the Islanders the first 2 periods. Hope the sailing's a little smoother in the third.
Oh, I get it.
You know, they put him up and you just respond however you can. And Trent Klatt responded with the only goal of this game for the LA Kings, which means he is the only entry in our scoring summary of the second period. That is brought to you by Hummer.
Number 15 on the year for Trent Klatt. Corvo took the shot from the point after Armstrong beat Michael Peck on the faceoff.
So the Islanders, who twice have come back this year to win games they trailed after 2, rainstormed in between periods, and Steve Stirling sends Scatchard out between Blake and Winehandle. And so far, Joe, I know he started to speculate during the second period. Things stayed the same. Steve might start to juggle, but Scatchard, Blake, Winehandle, they've been together all night. Last couple games, in fact.
I think they've been the best line for the Islanders in this game.
There's Scatchard trying to get away from Armstrong. Winehandle jumping towards the net, locked up by Corvo. Now Blake with Ninema jumping in from his defense post. Jason Blake went back, shot, and that deflects behind the net. Winehandle first to get it. Winehandle for Blake. Now Scatchard sails one up over the net. The Islanders trying to get some instant pressure here on this first shift. Islanders have had the puck in the LA zone. Blake centers it, deflects, and Hewitt will cover up.
That's a good opening shift by the Scatchard line. And Blake tried to get the puck to Scatchard at the end there, and it hit the skate of Armstrong and deflected into Hewitt. Here it comes again. Watch the hard backhand pass as Scatchard was over on the other side. And Armstrong, number 7, did a good job, but it hits his skate, and then Hewitt able to cover up.
Adrian Aucoin fires, and a save by Hewitt. Now Asham takes it off the boards. His shot deflects. Brent Hunter working behind the net. Now for Asham, he scores! And the Islanders have tied it 1-1. He was the hero in last year's win against Los Angeles. And Hunter makes the play to set up the tying goal.
Well, right off the face-off, and then there's Hunter. Look at the pass and the quick shot. All right, they just work to get the loose puck, and Hunter with a beautiful pass. And what happened on that play, there was a delayed high sticking call that was going to go against the Islanders for playing the puck with a high stick. The LA King player played the puck, negated it. As soon as he played it, Hunter jumped on it, made the pass for the tying goal.
Islanders called for icing, but Trent Hunter with the point will move ahead of Michael Ryder and take the points leadership as well as the goal leadership among rookies. Aaron Asham hits double digits with his 10th goal.
See, right from the face-off, Kavasha will end up knocking this puck down with a high stick. There's one save there. They do a good job going after it. One shot here. There it is up in the air. Right there is where Kavasha knocked it down. And then when the LA player touched the puck, negated the high stick. That's when Hunter jumped on it, fed to Asham for the tying goal.
I think that was Collins who touched the puck and allowed the Islanders to maintain the pressure in the offensive zone. Kavasha draws the second assist. And so for Oleg Kavasha, his 26th assist of the year represents a new career high. So Asham's 10th from Hunter and Kavasha at 50 seconds. And what was encouraging, too, is that the goal came on the second shift after a real good first shift, as that shot's kicked out by DiPietro, taken by Norton. Scatchard line had a good shift, and Kavasha, Hunter, and Asham came right back after that and come up with a tying goal.
Yeah, and in the pregame show, or intermission, I should say, Deb Kaufman and Stan Fischler talked about getting a spark from someone, and they talked about the big guy, Oleg Kavasha.
New career high assists for Mr. Kavasha.
And Aaron Asham, line.
On left wing, Chartrand, checked by Janssen. And all the way down, Blake challenging Ziska. Holds off Jason Blake, but Sketcher backs the play up. It's taken in. And the Kings lifted out of the zone, recovered by Janssen. Too far for Ninema. But icing waved off as Jiska plays it and then is hit by Hunter. And now Hunter will hustle after Sean Avery. And Avery got away from most of that check as the puck spins into the Islanders zone. O'Coin shoves LaPerriere. Avery works it free. Penalty coming up to the Islanders as DiPietro covers up. The Los Angeles Kings will go to the power play at the 2:50 mark of the third period.
Well, the Islanders' penalty killing has been great as of late. They're going to have to do the job again as Adrian O'Coin. Perrier's head went back, but I'm not sure the stick came up, did it? Let's see. There goes the head, and there goes the official way behind. Perrier drew the call. I don't think he got the high stick. I think he just drew the penalty by throwing his head back. Still throwing it back. He wanted another one.
Well, there's going to be another penalty against the Islanders, and it came right off the face-off. So effectively, the Kings are going to have a two-man power play for almost the entire 2 minutes, just 5 seconds after the penalty to O'Coin. Michael Pekka's being sent to the box.
Yeah, that's high sticking as well. Pekka taking the face off. Let's watch it.
Maybe LaPerriere drew it to the bench.
Now, you know what happened? Armstrong goes down to the ground. Watch what happens. Pekka's stick stays down. Well, that's a borderline call as Armstrong is getting up off the ice.
So, for the second straight game, the Islanders faced with a significant amount of 5-on-3 to kill. This for a minute 55. Jiska across for Corvo, pardon me. Now to Jiska, and a kick save made by DiPietro. With Robitaille for Armstrong. Janssen took him. Ninema takes the puck. Robitaille let it go. Protected at the point by Jiska. Now Robitaille for Jiska. Across to Corvo, and he shanked it. Janssen pressures, forcing Corvo back, but he moved it quickly. And now it's along the goal line. Robitaille beating Corvo, and that's a big save by DiPietro, who came way out. Kings keep it. Corvo for Armstrong. He put it in front, didn't reach for Robitaille, and is cleared by Janssen.
That hit the skate, I believe, of Ninema, the pass. And Kenny Janssen able to pick it up, and the Islanders able to get a change.
55 to go on the O'Coin penalty. 5 seconds more to the Pekka penalty. Kings set the 5-on-3 up. Corvo for Jiska. Now across to Corvo. One-timer, pad save. He broke his stick again. Another broken stick. And Kavasha trying to take advantage. Slowed up at the line, and that forced the play offside as Hammerlich kept going. We're talking about this, Joe, more and more every night. And I was talking to Adrian O'Coin about his wooden sticks, these other guys with the composites. They're breaking in situations just like this at the worst time.
I know. Good scoring chances where they try to put everything into the shot, and the sticks are breaking. There's one shot that got through, and did Pietro get it, or did Trent Klatt, did it hit him? LA takes a timeout. You know what's been interesting on this 5-on-3? The leading power play goal scorer for the LA Kings is Luc Robitaille. He's got 9, hardly touched the puck. You would think that they try and set him up if they can, because even though he's going to be 38 years old, the one thing he's always known how to do, and that's score goals, score big goals.
645 in his NHL career. Tonight on Fox Sports Net, you can catch the best combo of sports and entertainment on television. The best sports show, period, at 10 o'clock on Fox Sports Net.
That last replay, we saw Robitaille handle the puck and just make the pass to the point man, and he was trying to direct traffic, but they never tried to set him up. You know, you've got to score like that. You've got to try and get him the puck in a critical situation, especially with this LA King team as banged up as they are.
Well, they still have some time. 32 seconds left to the 5-on-3 and 5 seconds more to the second penalty, and they move into the Islanders zone with Robitaille. For Jiska, across to Corvo, and DiPietro's got that. Boy, has he been aggressive. Saw how far out he was there. We showed you another shot earlier. It was almost at the hash mark.
You know, it looks like he's just over there waiting for the shot. Look how quickly the pass and then the shot. Watch, pass, shot right off the pass. And DiPietro is there. I mean, he's there waiting for him.
Kings win another faceoff. Žižka backing up now, straight away for Robitaille in the circle. Žižka to Corvo. Žižka one-timer. That missed the net. Ninema tried to lock up Klatt, couldn't do it. So Klatt gets a pick from Armstrong. Turns and feeds Corvo. Go Corvo to Žižka. One-timer, missed the net. DiPietro got a piece of the carom. One man out of the box. O'Coin. Second one's coming in. He's second. It's Pekka. And the Islanders have killed off 1 minute and 55 seconds of a 5-on-3 LA power play. Armstrong denied by DiPietro, but that play was offside. And the penalty killers, who have been superb for the last 14 games, are getting a standing ovation here at the Coliseum.
That's why the play continued, because they couldn't hear the whistle. Look at the effort by Manlow. Outstanding. Just as the players are coming out of the box, that one last play enabled the Islanders to kill things off. And Steve Stirling said today before the game, he said, you know, DiPietro was great, the 5-on-3 against Phoenix. He said, but Eric Manlow was just as good. And he showed it right there again, using him often to kill off this 5-on-3.
The game in Phoenix turned with the Islanders killing a 5-on-3 for a minute and a half. They trailed 2-0 in that one and came back to win 5-2. Here they once again withstand a 5-on-3 against for a minute 55. And now they can go back to work and see about breaking this 1-1 tie with 14:32 to go in the third.
And DiPietro made the one real good save on Corvo from the other side. But other than that, they did a good job of preventing pucks from getting to him, didn't they?
Kings missed the net a couple of times with
Yes.
head-on one-timers in the slot.
Right.
Žižka in particular, who's back there handling it, lost it to Sketcher. Blake follows. And now Sketcher. Taken in vigorously by Žižka. Blake recovers the puck, though. Blake trying to squeeze through a pair of Kings. Žižka and Pernaj. And who's got the puck? It's Winehandle. And he's hit hard from behind. Nothing called. Big hit there by Tim Gleason. Winehandle back up, though. Gleason stays with him. Now Blake out of the corner. Just does keep it in temporarily, but then it comes right back to a Kings player, and it's brought along by Chartrand. But the play whistled down offside with 13:49 to go in the third period.
Our Panasonic digital replay highlights the Islanders' penalty killing and the effort right there of Eric Manlow to clear the zone and to finish things off. What a job.
The Islanders hoping to gain some momentum from that penalty kill, but DiPietro stuck behind his net for the time being. The Kings out shooting the Islanders there by 7. The Islanders also have to be able to take advantage of this inexperienced LA Kings defense now. They're in the final 13 and a half. Talked about how inexperienced they are. Matty Norstrom, coming into this season, had played a little over 600 games in this league. The other 5 defensemen dressed for the Kings, just 164.
Yeah,
That's
something,
a big
isn't it?
difference.
Yeah. And Norstrom has played all the important minutes. Cairns, on the other hand, didn't see much on the penalty kill time then. And this one, he tries to clear it, gets hit. And on the backhand, DiPietro had to be alert to make the save.
Sven Butenschon out for a shift with Hammerlick. Butenschon spun it crisply around the board, but icing waved off. So the goaltender Cristobal Hewitt handles the puck. And Hewitt's been good. Islanders have only had 20 shots, but earlier in the game they were putting some more pressure on.
Andy Murray said before the game, says all season he's been happy with his goaltending.
Hewitt, the backup for Roman Cechmanek, who played the game yesterday. Out of the corner now comes Frolov, feeding the blue line. And that shot by Gleason slapped away. And behind the net, Frolov keeps moving. DiPietro sweep checking. The puck comes back in front. Pekka tried to lock up Rosa. And now Corbo, a defenseman, in deep. There's a loose stick on the ice as that backhander by Corbo is knocked aside.
Hammerlick. And he picked it up and then made the save. Right there, didn't have a stick. Took it out of the net and then blocked the shot from the point. And just prior to that, Michael Pekka with an excellent defensive play on Rosa, who had a wide open net.
Good job by Roman Hammerlick with all that going on in front of the net.
Very good.
Asham was knocked down by Robitaille. And Hewitt twice has played for the French Olympic team. Curls it around the boards. Hewitt from France played in '98 and 2002 in the Olympics. Trent Klatt taken in by Yashin in the corner. Herb Brooks once coached the French Olympic team.
Yes, he did. '94, I believe, in Lillehammer, Norway.
Asha looking for Asham. Aaron Asham chased by Žižka. Asham working into the corner. I don't know Herb had French blood. Or was there a technicality somewhere? Hunter shooting, a save by Hewitt.
Oh, and Hunter looks hurt on the play. Hunter's down on the ice. LA's going to get called for a penalty on this play, a tripping penalty. And boy, oh boy, it looked from out of the side. It looked like Hunter, like it was knee to knee.
This is about as scary a sight as an Islander fan can see right now, within context, of course.
It was Brad Norton. And Hunter's going to end up with the puck right there. I mean, Norton stuck his right leg out. And it was well after the pass. Watch your right side. I mean, Norton stuck his right leg out. And it was knee to knee. I mean, that should be more than 2 minutes. Well, just about as dangerous as any play in the game.
Putting some, but not a whole lot of pressure on the knee.
This was knee to knee, and it was again it was well after the pass by Norton. And again, I think it should be more than 2 minutes.
Well, now he's got no pressure on that right leg.
He went down to the ice and right away grabbed the knee. And it's just, here it is again. Watch Norton. I mean, he sticks his right. He stuck his leg out. I mean, way out to get him with the knee. I mean, that to me, that should be 5 minutes. The league will probably end up reviewing that.
To give you an idea of his Dinamo shooting, he goes wide with it. Give you an idea of what Trent Hunter has meant to this team. The Islanders go to the power play. Right up until that shot, this crowd was quiet. So now Hammerlick across for Ninema. The drive and a save by Hewitt. Chip back to the boards. Hammerlick pitching. The Perrier bothering him. Kavasha got it loose. Ninema fires. That's tipped by Belanger. Comes back to the side of the net where Norstrom is stationed. Recovered by Winehandle. To Hammerlick. Ninema to Hammerlick. And now Winehandle feeds down low. Reaching was Kavasha. Nobody home at the point. The Islanders have to flush out of the LA zone.
Now, this is where the Islanders have to take advantage of this, because again, it's an area LA has really struggled on the penalty killing. It's the Islanders' chance to win the game right here.
Kings fail to clear. Hammerlick plays it behind the net. Down to 52 remaining on the penalty to Norton. 10 left in the third. Aaron Asham along with Ronning. Ronning gets it back to Hammerlick. Now Ninema under some pressure. Ronnie Ninema keeps the puck. Kavasha's in front causing a disturbance. Holland trying to push him away. Kavasha right at the hash marks. Ronning looks for him as he sneaks out to the other side. So Kavasha drifts back. Now it's Hammerlick, the defenseman, in front. Ninema for Asham. Back to Kavasha. And it's blocked by the defenseman Holland. Ronning behind the net. With Ronning looking, with Asham parked right at the edge of the goal.
He wants players to move.
Kavasha takes the shot. Holland blocked that. 9 seconds to the power play. Norstrom stepped in front of Ronning, and the puck is sent to the line, but not out. Ninema tried to slip it to Hammerlick. Couldn't do it as Norton comes out of the box.
And that allows LA to change penalty killers.
Off the benches, Blake scooting right towards the net. Blake stays with it. Now he shoots, and a save by Hewitt. Number Žižka made the good play defensively on Jason Blake. Winehandle with a steal from Robitaille. But Robitaille gets it back, failing to clear the zone. Janssen keeps it and shoots, and a stick save by Hewitt. Now it's Winehandle into the corner for Scatchard. He takes a hit from Corvo. Blake follows. Jason Blake looking for room. Got a pick from Scatchard. Pitching was Janssen. He didn't get it deep. Trying to lock up Armstrong as Robitaille starts to the Islander line. And Robitaille just guides it behind the net. Two Islanders on Armstrong. Scatchard works it towards the blue line. Held in by Norton. That shot hit Winehandle. And O'Coin nudges it to Janssen. And he fires it off of Robitaille. Robitaille puts it behind the net. Armstrong shoved hard by O'Coin. Blake trying to clear. Corbo said no. Corbo almost hit his own man Armstrong with that. Now Trent Klatt leaves it in the corner for Armstrong. He turns on O'Coin. Janssen in to help out with Norton, the defenseman, pinching. So Scatchard takes it for the Islanders. Put it off of Corvo, recovered by Robitaille. That was blocked by Blake. Blake trying to get away from Corvo, who makes a good defensive play. Between the bouncing puck and the bouncing Blake, Corvo had his hands full.
Yeah, excellent play by Corvo. Showed some quickness there to get back on Blake, who had some speed going the other way.
7:36 remaining in the third period. We'll let you know if we hear anything about Trent Hunter, who went to the Islander room with an apparent knee injury. Pekka being held off in the corner and nothing called. Roloff doing that holding. Bates puts it in front. Papineau denied on a big save by Ewan, and then Papineau decked after the whistle by Corvo. It's starting to get a little nasty now with 7:21 remaining, third period of a tie game.
Islanders fans, with the most comprehensive coverage in the game, Fox Sports Net delivers your team from start to finish. First, gear up for the game with previews, features, stats, and analysis, all on Geico Islanders Game Night. During the game, it's the BMW Intermission Report with up-to-the-minute game info and player interviews. And afterwards, Howie and Joe deliver the post-game wrap-up. It's all right here, Islanders Hockey. All season long on Fox Sports Net.
Islanders nearly took the lead. Pekka doing work in the corner. Then the pass in front, and Papineau was there. Got a pretty good shot. Hewitt with the save before Papineau was knocked down.
Michael Pekka for Bates, and then it was missed by Papineau. And Roman Hamrlik back to play it. Richie Campbell just came back from the Islander locker room without Trent Hunter. Sean Bates now for Pekka, in on the wing, and a save made by Hewitt. Michael Pekka down the left side. Goaltender Cristobal Hewitt, who's been good all afternoon, was there.
Played a solid game, hasn't he? Always in position. He's not a youngster. He's had a lot of experience. Played overseas.
Yeah, not only did he play for Team France in the Olympics, he's from France, also played professionally in the Swiss League. Officials want them to move it. Bates and Gleason tying each other and the puck up, but Bates gets it loose. Now to Asham. Asham powering to the slot. Goes wide, shoots. A save by Hewitt with 6:21 to go in this third period.
Good strong play by Aaron Asham, picking up the loose puck. And looking for a spark. Boy, look for Asham. Gavasha. There's the good work in the corner. And then here's the quick shot. No rebound.
Oh, now Gavasha takes the draw. And up the right wing is Frolov. He shoots. Saved by DiPietro. Frolov trying to bring it back. As Janssen all over him. Sherkovsky behind the net by the forechecking Pavel Rosa. But Asham in position. Leads the Islanders to center. Asham gets it deep. Enema slapping away, kept it in temporarily until Jason Holland could peel it out of the zone. And then Stumple takes a spill in neutral ice. Mattias Norstrom from the red line. DiPietro cuts it off, sizes up his options, and it's Hamrlik to Blake.
This is the line that's been good for the Islanders.
Winehandle. Get around Norton. O'Coin backs it up. It's Scatchard, Blake, and Winehandle. Blake all the way to the blue line. Hustling to hold it in is Hamrlik. Now Scatchard absorbs a big hit. He and Frolov both went down. Back up in the corner. More shoving with Blake. Knocked down. And Scatchard goes hard on Corvo. Scatchard, on Frolov. Scatchard's got to be careful at this point.
Well, he was upset because Norton cross-checked him from behind and knocked him down.
5 minutes left in a tie game. Hamrlik fires it in hard. O'Coin goes deep. He's in the corner. Now with Pekka. Pekka leaves it behind the net. Blake is first to get to it. Turning on Corvo. And now Blake again to Pekka. He was bumped by Trent Klatt. That was a good play by Klatt. Ninema couldn't get it down the boards. Kings get it out, but Ninema grabs it right back.
LA finishes every check, don't they? Everybody.
Now Pekka with a little room, closes it, shoots, and a save by Hewitt. With Manlow coming down the other side. And Hewitt just did get that one.
He started to play the pass and then recovered to barely make the save.
Barely, huh?
Yes.
Just barely got it as he was backing into the net.
You know, Pekka faked like he was going to pass the puck to his right, and right at the last second decided to shoot, and Hewitt was moving.
Pass a little too far, but Holland the other way with 3:56 to go in the third. Put that one out of play. The shots are even, 29 apiece. So are the goals. Another reminder that Wednesday night on Fox Sports Net, Islanders and Penguins. Geico Islanders game night at 6:30. Face off at 7. Available on HD TV, only on cable. And that puck sent into the crowd, so there's no further play. 3:47 to go, and now Scatchard.
Still has an edge to him from the last shift. And now he gets bumped into by LaPerriere from behind.
I think it was Belanger who originally was the subject of Scatchard's ire.
Well, you made a good point, though. Oh, look at the good news. You hear the crowd? Trent Hunter back on the ice.
Wow.
Is that great to see, isn't it?
And listen, just listen for a minute.
Yeah.
This kid's a rookie. Look how he's got the fans stomping now.
I mean, he's some kind of respected player. And he's going right back to the ice. Why not?
That's a great sight.
Oh, is that ever? Probably went and had the knee taped up a little bit. Right back out there. Now they appreciate hard work and effort on a consistent basis. And then you add to that the tremendous results that he's had. And he's become a fan favorite here. Why not?
Well, for the storybook rookie season of Trent Hunter, I guess there's only one logical conclusion to this game then, right?
I agree.
Let's go out and get a gamer now.
Why not?
It's been that kind of year for him.
The goals he scored have been important goals this year. So that was a short shift as Steve Sterling continues to try and keep the matchups that he wants. So the Scatchard line comes back out against the Stumple line.
This line has generated a lot.
Yes, they have.
Scatchard, Blake, and
Yes, they
Whitehead.
have.
They've played most of their shifts in the offensive zone, haven't they?
Yep.
But right now, they're in their own end with Frolov looking for Stumple in front. That went right through the goal crease. Wide handle hit by Frolov. And now Adrian Aucoin up the wall. Holland shut it down. And Hammerlick goes back into the corner. Blake waits, chips it out of the zone. Frolov has trouble. Aucoin couldn't get it loose, though. Frolov again trying to send it in, but Blake got it back, and now Scatchard to Winehandle. Onside. Blake hustles behind the net, goes in on Holland. Blake looks for the puck, but Norstrom got to it first. And Mattias Norstrom fires it out with 2:44 to go. Pekka to Ninema. Teams changing. Ninema waits for help. Yanni Ninema holding. Pekka goes to the front of the net. Now he is knocked down by Norstrom. Pekka's stick came up and got Norstrom, but the penalty's going to be to the Kings. Islanders will get a power play out of this as Ninema throws it down behind the net. Manlow has it. Extra skater for the Islanders in the delayed penalty. Pekka behind the net. Pekka sneaks out, feeds Manlow, and a save by Hewitt. Now Kabasha to Ninema. Again, it's a delayed penalty. Islanders with an extra skater on. Manlow for Bates, but he was locked up by Holland, who had control of the puck to necessitate that whistle.
The Islanders.
I'm just surprised the whistle flew there. Because if the Islanders have control and the Kings don't get it back, but that's why Norstrom will be upset.
Well, Norstrom took down Pekka, and then as Pekka was going down, his stick came up, and then Pekka set up. Oh, you know what? That puck never got to Hewitt. There was a defenseman on a great setup by Pekka to Manlow. And Manlow's shot was blocked before it got to Hewitt. And so the hooking call goes against Mattias Norstrom, and is that ever important from the standpoint that the Islanders get the power play, but the best defensive player for LA is Norstrom, and now they're going to give him another 2 if he doesn't get to the box. I'm surprised they're letting him go. I'm surprised they're letting him go. You're supposed to, when the penalty is called, you're supposed to go right to the box. If you don't, if you go back to the bench, that's supposed to be an extra penalty. Not only did he go back, take his time, then he argued the call. So the referees tried to show a lot of restraint, give him the benefit of the doubt. Here it is again. There's the hooking call, and just as Pekka was going down, his stick came up and got Norstrom in the nose. And Andy Murray wants more of an explanation.
Now, they say you're supposed to be responsible for your stick. Is part of this interpretation that it was the hook of Norstrom that resulted in Pekka's stick?
Well, I would say so, because his feet went out from under him. And at that point, he didn't have control of anything.
So, the Islanders with a power play. Ronnie to O'Coin. Janssen risks one that deflects. Hunter chases into the corner. Corvo on him. Gavasha running, and Hunter are the forwards. Good play by O'Coin on that bouncing puck. And Janssen is not able to make the same play to keep it in the zone. 20 seconds gone on the power play. O'Coin missed the pass, but now Hunter grabs it back. Hunter looks. Banks one to Gavasha. Quick puck movement. Running with Hunter in front. Tried to scoot out, now keeps the puck. Hunter drifts back towards the corner to accept the pass from Running. O'Coin waiting, shooting. That was blocked by Pernes. Hunter zips it around the boards. Janssen waits halfway down. Got it into the corner. Gavasha draws plenty of company, but good work there by Stumper to get it out of the zone. Pietro way out with the Kings changing. Gavasha got it in quickly. Tried to get it back to Running. That was broken up, and the Kings clear. Frolov going after Hammerlick. Final minute of regulation time. A 1-1 tie. Islander power play for another 48 seconds. Jani Niinimaa into the zone. Nice feed to Pekka. Pekka down the boards. Steers it to the near side. Blake waits. Let it go and gets it back from Hammerlick. Tied up by Holland, and Frolov chips it out of the zone.
That's been a good job of penalty killing by the Kings.
Nice feed from Pekka to Bates. Slapped away by the defense, and then it's fired into the Islander bench with Islander players ducking away. 33 seconds to go in the third period. 26 seconds left on the Islander power play.
Well, unlike the other power plays that the Islanders have had, this one they have not been able to get control of the puck, sit back and make plays because of LA's aggressiveness. They just don't want the Islanders to be able to turn, face the net, face each other, and make plays.
Kings control the draw. Huge face-off win for them. Now we're down to 20 on the power play. 25 in the third period. Oleg Gavasha played it crisply but quickly. And what will the result be? The hustle of Hunter, keeping it onside. Manlow setting up. 12 to go in the period. Penalty winding down. Niinimaa with 8 left in the third. To Gavasha, he fires, it's blocked. Norstrom out of the box, trying to chip it out of the zone. Nice keep by Niinimaa to Hunter. And that one sails wide at the buzzer. This game will go to overtime.
Now the chance at the end, and it was the penalty killing that really had faltered for so long for the LA Kings. It came up big there.
Like Norton was hit with a puck right in the closing seconds there. He blocked the shot, and obviously in some pain. Will step out. 5 minutes, sudden death overtime is next. We're getting ready for overtime here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum tonight at 10. Don't forget to tune in to MSG Sports Desk presented by Toyota. We'll have the recap from this one, as well as the Garden where the Rangers are playing the Senators. And that incredible deal that is just about finalized with Alex Rodriguez becoming a New York Yankee. That's tonight at 10 on Sports Desk. And for these teams, overtime, nothing unusual, but particularly for the Kings, this is going to be their 21st overtime game of the year, and the Islanders 10th.
21st? I think it's 23,
oh, actually, yeah,
isn't it?
plus the 2 wins in overtime, right. 23, right.
Yeah,
for the Islanders, they're 12th.
Yeah, which leads the league. And I think that LA went on a 14-game winless streak and still are in a playoff spot.
These teams have each won twice in overtime. But the Kings have played 13 ties, and have lost 7 times in overtime. And we're into the 4-on-4, half minute in. Sean Bates in deep, nice move, shoots, and a save perhaps by the elbow of Hewitt, with Sean Bates looking to get on the board for the first time in 30 games. And what a spot that would have been. Now Bates again to Pekka. He didn't get much of that, and Hewitt wants to cover up.
Bates made a strong move from his forehand to his backhand. And I couldn't tell if he made a save or he hit the post. Here's the move again. Look at that. Strong move. Oh, right elbow, huh? Great save by Hewitt after a strong move by Sean Bates. That close.
That was the best look at it there. That's typical of Hewitt's work all afternoon. He's been terrific. Shots are 30-29 Islanders. Islanders with Kvasha and Blake up front. Ninema and Janssen back. Los Angeles watching Blake, the former King, get a shot off. It goes wide. The carom to Ninema. Now to Kvasha. Turns it, fires, and a bad save made by Hewitt. Klatt and Norstrom, the forwards here, with Corvo and Robitaille also on the ice. So just one defenseman here for the LA Kings. A steal by Blake. He shoots, and that one deflects wide. Ninema lets it go. Deflected with no stick for the goaltender Hewitt. Kvasha was there for the redirection, but Robitaille up the right wing, checked by Janssen.
What a play by Kenny Janssen. The last man back.
And now Blake sends Ninema up the right side. Ninema waiting now. Took a shove, turned the puck over. Plenty of room up on the right wing, but the pass didn't connect now cleanly until Belanger just gets to it. 3:10 to go in overtime. Yanni Ninema. Loss for Janssen. Now it's Bates and Hunter up front. Bates in hard on Gleason. Same for Hunter. And his man Žižka. Žižka has to reach back for that puck, which had gone right through his legs. So now it's Gleason scrambling in his own zone. Turning it away from Bates. 2:42 to go in overtime. And Tim Gleason now. Got it ahead. Be held by Pernez. Pietro. Aim out. And now O'Coin at the Islander line. For Cherkovsky. Good move on Frolov. Pekka to the net. Cherkovsky to Hammerlick. And that one is knocked away. It might have been Žižka who blocked it on the way through. Hammerlick hustles to keep it in. Hammerlick for Pekka. Michael Pekka to Cherkovsky in the corner. Marius gets a pick from Michael Pekka. High in the slot. He shoots. Save made. Rebound pitched towards the corner by Norstrom.
What a save off the deflection. I believe it hit Hammerlick or the Kings defenseman Žižka.
Stumple by himself, now gets help from Frolov, feeds to Corvo, moves up, shoots, he hit the post! Corvo might have hit the crossbar up high on DiPietro. Kings keep it in. Hammerlick with a deflection on that LA pass that's gloved by DiPietro. Well, the Islanders hit a couple of crossbars earlier, and the Kings just came within that pinging sound of winning the game as Corvo touches up Fred Ising with 1:27 to go.
What an overtime. What an overtime with chances on both ends. Hammerlick is going to end up with a chance. And that one saved by Hewitt. And then that one gets deflected by Hammerlick. And Hewitt just kicks out the right pad. And then the post by Corvo the other way. Great overtime.
All 6 shots in the overtime taken by the Islanders. They've outshot the Kings 35-29. A minute 20 to go. Each team with 1 point. They're looking for the extra one with Blake unable to squeeze past Armstrong. Scatchard follows the play. Ninema sends it deep. Scatchard to Janssen, a shot and a save by Hewitt. Now it's Scatchard along the wall. Dave Scatchard for the pitching Ninema. Final minute of overtime. Ninema with Armstrong first, and then Robitaille doing all he can to keep it in. More good work by Ninema, but now he's got to hustle back. 3-on-1 developing. It's Corvo closing in. Corvo to Robitaille, and a save somehow by DiPietro to keep this one tied. And back come the Islanders the other way. It's Blake with 37 to go. In over the line. looking for room, sets up Hammerlick, he shoots, and that's blocked. That might have hit Corbo in the skate. I don't know that that reached Hewitt, but how about that pressure at both ends?
And Scatchard grabbed his head because he was wide open on the other side, and Hammerlick didn't see him. He was all alone on the other side after Blake gave him the puck. And here's the save you're talking about. I don't know how he saved it either.
Rick DiPietro is emerging right before our eyes, particularly over the last week or so. And now the Islanders with 17 seconds to go. One last rush. Kavasha trying to get through, couldn't do it. Holland gets it back. Tried to clear, he hit Bates. Bates recovered, 7 seconds left. Bates to Hammerlick. He fires and missed wide. Kavasha trying to just throw it at the net, but time runs out, and this one ends in a 1-1 tie. And although the Islanders had most of the pressure in overtime, the one Los Angeles shot resulted in Rick DiPietro's best save of the game.
Yeah, terrific save. LA is going to go home from this trip happy with their point on the road, as they got one yesterday in losing to New Jersey. And the Islanders found a way to get back after trailing 1-0 after 2. Here's the shot by Corbo, or pardon me, the pass, and Robitaille, the great goal scorer, couldn't finish because of that save by DiPietro. And now the Islanders come back the other way. Blake is going to find Hammerlick here. Watch him turn, find Hammerlick, and then Hammerlick does not see Scatchard, all alone on the other side. And Hewitt makes the save, and there's a reaction of Dave Scatchard that knew he had an easy one had Hammerlick seen him on the other side.
Well, this game had a little bit of everything, ending in a 1-1 tie. It had plenty of passion, even got chippy at times, had some terrific goaltending, as you saw, even down at the end in overtime. And, you know, again, you don't want to make proclamations because you never know what the next game's going to hold, but the way Rick DiPietro has progressed just over the last little while since he came back after he went down for conditioning, well, he looks like he's finally arrived.
Yeah. The last 3 weeks, I would say, DiPietro has seemed to find a comfort zone in goal for the Islanders.
The Islander goal this afternoon. You see Rick DiPietro, the star of the show. The Islander goal in this game came from Aaron Asham, who is standing by downstairs with Deb.
Ash, you guys carried the play really in the overtime. Are you still pleased with the 1 point?
Yeah, I guess, a point's a point, but, we're looking for the, for the second one, but I thought we came out in the second and, it wasn't our best period and, it cost us a point.
Right before you scored your goal, we had just looked at some video of you playing last year against the Kings where you scored twice against LA. Did you remember that going into this one, and does it give you some confidence knowing you'd played well against them a year ago?
Seems like I played pretty good against them my whole career. I think I scored a few goals when I was with Montreal against them too, so it's always a good boost coming in, but Hunt's made a great pass and I was just there to bang it in.
So he had gotten hurt, he came back out, you guys showed some real grit staying in this one and tying it up.
Yeah, it was, third period seemed to be our period, but, that second, the second haunted us a bit. I thought we came out in the first and played pretty well, but, points to point, we'll take it right now.
All right, thanks, Ash.
Thank you.
Aaron Asham's at 10 goals now. After the equalizer today, the Islanders get a point out of the 1-1 overtime tie against the Kings. Great work all around. A quick break, and Howie and Joe right after this.
Kings ended a road trip. Islanders began a homestand, and they end up on even terms, 1-1 in a game the Kings led 1-0 going to the third, and then came the Bud Light goal of the game. It's brought to you by Bud Light, the proud sponsor of the National Hockey League.
Well, the Islanders trailed 1-0 going into the third period, and they came out especially hard. This was a high stick that was negated, and then Hunter, look at the pass, beautiful to Asham, who let go a quick wrist shot. Hewitt was very good in goal for LA all day, but Asham beat him on that one on the short side, and that's our Bud Light goal of the game.
First two shifts of the third period in particular were very strong shifts for the Islanders. Scatchard line had the first one, then came the play resulting in the tying goal, and whatever Aaron Asham was saying about the second period seemed to really be consistent with what everybody was thinking, because they somehow were a different team in that middle 20 minutes.
Well, I think you have to give credit to Los Angeles. I mean, this is a team that got 10 regulars out. A lot of these players are basically American Hockey League players, or were playing in the American Hockey League in Manchester. And they come out and they play hard. I mean, every one of them finished their check. They know how to play defensively, and I thought once they took the 1-0 lead, they didn't lose all of their aggressiveness on the forecheck, but they lost some of that and thought a little bit more about defensive hockey, and I think that's why the Islanders were shut down in the second period.
But the Islanders got the tying goal from Asham. It ends in a 1-1 tie. Joe and I will see you right back here at the Coliseum on Wednesday night when the Pittsburgh Penguins are here. Deb and Stan will carry you the rest of the way when we return right after these messages. Islanders and Kings end in a tie.
As Jack Bauer, I've learned a lot of spy lingo. In the next 24 seconds, I'll teach you another language. Ready? The one-timer, shooting the puck without stopping it. Between the pipes is where the goalie plays. Between his legs is the 5-hole. Above the 5-hole, a cup. Not that one. This is a twig. That is a biscuit. Top shelf is a goal scored just underneath the crossbar. So now when you hear someone say I snapped my twig on a one-timer, tried to go top shelf, but the biscuit found the 5-hole, you'll get it.
A couple turning points in this game, which ends in a 1-1 overtime tie. Stan Fisher, how about the penalty kill for the Islanders? They killed off a 5-on-3, almost a full 2 minutes of a 5-on-3 with two of their best penalty killers, Adrian Aucoin and Michael Pekka, in the box.
That was the turning point in terms of the game not being a defeat for the Islanders, because it was a superb job. There were a lot of good chances for LA, and from there they could simply take over and try to get the 2 points. They didn't get the 2 points, but still, it's a big 1 point because it brings them into a tie now with the Canadians, and the Islanders still have a game in hand.
And they have Pittsburgh on Wednesday night, and then they'll play Buffalo, who's trailing them now by an extra point, because the Sabres, who also play today, will be here over the weekend.
You know, we kind of kid around about Pittsburgh, but nothing is in the bag until it's in the bag. I think Yogi Berra.
I'm going to go out on a limb. What? 2 points Wednesday night.
Well, hopefully they will.
I'm guaranteeing.
You know, don't jinx them.
No, I won't.
They should get better. There were good signs. DiPietro played very well, and of course Parrish soon to be back.
All right, so Parrish, the word on him this morning was shortly. Expect him back shortly. The word on Stan is, we'll see you again shortly.
Shortly.
Very tall, Stan. We'll see you very shortly. So on this President's Day afternoon, a break from school, the lesson learned, the Kings came to play, so did Rick DiPietro. A day off from work as well, but plenty of hard work by both the Islanders and the Kings. LA had to play yesterday. They came back and got another point. They'll go home from their trip, but now the Islanders are here to stay. Alexei Yashin looking to come back soon. Mark Parrish looking to come back soon, and we will see you again Wednesday night. The Penguins are here to play the Isles. Geico Islanders game might get you started at 6:30. Thanks to Kevin manager Larry Ross, Charlie Kuchera, and Pete McEvely, who never take a day off. For Howie Rose and Joe Micheletti, Stan Fisher, I'm Deb Kaufman. Have a great rest of the afternoon. We'll see you again Wednesday night. Islanders and Kings in a 1-1 tie.